This is a very passionate podcast. I'm Mario.
Super very passionate people. I'm very passionate.
Very, very passionate about it.
Very passionate people.
She's one of the most passionate people.
Or maybe you don't know shit and you want to learn from the best.
Very passionate. So welcome back to I Am Very Passionate. This is Mario.
I'm Jessica.
And today we have a pretty scary episode. I'm super nervous.
Explain yourself.
Well, we're talking about Cyan-tology today.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm not scared at all. Mario's shaking.
I'm not shaking. They have this thing called fair game.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in defending themselves. They just go on the attack.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a target of that. Because, they've been known to get people fired. They've been known to harass people, have, people follow them, what have you. And honestly, I don't, based off my research, I don't have too much against them. I don't agree with a lot of things. But I also think...
like every other religion in the world.
I also think Catholicism has done way worse things than...
Catholicism doesn't have a fair game thing, though. The fair game thing is pretty messed up. That's
very aggressive, but also it's worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into it more. I just want to stay off the stop. I don't have an issue with Cyan-tology. I am fascinated by some of their practices. I understand why some people started initially based off of what I've learned for the lower levels people. But as we get into more of their higher up stuff, there are some questionable things.
There are some questionable things. And I guess I can say it now, but I'll say it again later when we start actually talking about Cyan-tology. Mario and I have had episodes where we've talked about murder, other cults, our religious upbringings. This is just us having a passionate conversation. And I don't know, Cyan-tology, what's up? I'm Jessica. We're going to talk about you a little bit today, but it's all stuff that's already been out in the news and has been revealed. We're not breaking any news about them. Yeah. We're just we watched a bunch of documentaries and listened to podcasts and read lots of articles. And so we're just reporting the weirdest things we found about Cyan-tology.
Yeah. And also just the history of it.
Yeah.
Because things I didn't know about it, honestly.
Because you're a cult and you're a religion. So
I listened to this really cool podcast where they actually went to a Cyan-tology center and saw or went through the recruitment process to see what it was like and took the tests and everything. And that was just a very interesting thing.
I could never do that.
I'd probably do it just to say I've done it.
Could never. But,
because they give you an IQ test and a personality test before you start anything.
I don't know.
But going forward, we'll get to that in a bit. We're going to start off with icebreakers and...
we're going to break the ice.
Let's do it, Brittany.
Oh, thanks.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm channeling my inner... Leah Remini.
Have you ever seen that music video?
Which one?
The Britney Spears Break the Ice video?
No.
It's anime. It's completely animated.
I have seen it.
Cool.
People didn't like it.
I loved it. But I also was an anime fan growing up. So it's she's
people
embracing
who stan
it.
Britney.
But
loved
also,
it.
I think Britney likes anime because her son is a huge Dragon Ball Z fan.
Yeah.
And she fully embraces it. She knows the names of the characters.
Yeah.
She's such a cool mom. I know, I'm sure she has her shortcomings.
I'm not like other
moms.
I'm a cool mom.
But she fully lets her kids embrace who they are. And, sorry, totally Brit Jangent. Sorry.
We have a lot of those. The Jangents, Brit Jangent.
But, I just love her so much. And the fact that she's such a cool mom. She did a Pokemon Go themed birthday party for them once.
I love
Dragon Ball Z.
her.
She likes Pokemon. She's just cool. I love Brittany. She's a cool mom. Anyway, let's get into Icebreaker.
Brittany.
Brittany, if you're listening.
We love you.
Please come on our podcast.
No.
You already follow me on Tumblr, so I can message you.
I feel I can't. I would never be able to look her in the face. There's people like that I'm just I can't.
I'd be able to look her in the face, but I'd be just staring.
What would be the point? Why would we have her on the podcast? I would not look at her. You would not speak. She would just sit here.
Oh my God, I'd gush.
I couldn't speak to her.
I'd gush. I'd thank her.
I don't want to gush. I'm so aware of gushing now because some people just genuinely aren't about it. So then I have to be this cool ass bitch to talk to you, and I'm not a cool ass bitch normally.
Wouldn't it also be cool to break the story on this conservatorship stuff that's going on and her being stuck in the situation?
I don't want to do that.
I want to know. I want to help.
I don't want to do that.
Any way I can help Brittany.
If she wanted it out, it would be out.
But at the same time, I don't know if that's true because she's under a conservatorship, so they don't allow her to talk to the press.
I don't know. That's something that, girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so we have some quickie icebreakers. These should go rather fast-paced. The reason we're changing this up a little bit is because Mario, we have a docket, for those of you that don't know. And I go in and I check it on Saturdays because Mario avidly updates his icebreakers.
Well,
throughout the week.
I read the news and gossip columns all week. So anytime I'm on break at work and I'm just checking, it's like, oh, let me add that.
Yeah.
And some things get cut, some things make it. But I just anything I think we'd have a fun time talking about, I add.
So Mario adds it, and I wake up usually Saturday mornings and I check them. And I had a couple ones where I just could hear Mario's voice in my head. And it was really funny. And I was like, we need to just do the fast ones at the top because we do have a couple of icebreakers we do want to really get into.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is yours. Okay, Stephanie. I'm just going to say it. Stephanie Harlow, which we used a lot of her information for our Scott Peterson episode, Fuck Hunting with Your Dad. She listened to our podcast and then subscribed to us on YouTube and commented. And I screenshot it and sent it to Mario. Mario's like, I already saw it. I'm fucking dying.
I was. Because, I got a notification from the email that a comment was made on our video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who comments on our videos? And it was Stephanie Hall. I was like, this isn't the real one. This is the real one. So I clicked on the page.
Believed it.
And it was her. And I was like, oh my God. And I was about to, go and take a screenshot of it.
Yeah.
And then text you. And then you texted me. Yeah. And I was like, I know. Hi, Stephanie, if you're listening.
He, lost his mind. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh. I was so excited. I'm still excited.
We answered her back and said thank you and that we loved her and to keep up the good work because honestly.
Her videos are amazing. I still
really
watch
are.
them.
They're worth watching. Go down that rabbit hole with Stephanie Harlow.
She's so good and she's so detailed. She reads books, she reads articles, she listens to audiobooks to get all of her information.
Yeah.
And just compiles it. And I don't understand how she does this. She's a mother.
Yeah.
And she has a young girl. I think her youngest is 2 and she only goes to daycare for 2 hours a day. So that's when she does all her editing and a lot of her research and stuff. It was the fact that her stuff is so detailed and so...
She's killing it.
She's good. I love her. I love her. And she also is really into makeup.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Sorry. There's 2 Kesha bullet points on here and I want to bring those up back to back. Kesha performed her new song and TikTok at the Grammys.
With Big Frida and it was really good.
It was. I watched it after I saw it on the docket. And then immediately after, Mario said Kesha collab with James Charles. I haven't watched the video and I probably won't.
I'm not supporting him. I love you, Kesha, but you chose the wrong beauty influencer.
And here's the thing is that he needs to grow. I would give him another chance if I felt like he was doing things differently, but I skimmed the titles of his videos. He's not.
He doesn't even come with my suggestion anymore. I told YouTube not to suggest him to me.
Oh my God.
You can do that. Did you know?
Yes, I did. Because I did it with that one weird English drama channel.
Wait. I thought you were talking about the English guy, oh God,
the one that started calling Jeffree Star Voldemort. What is his name? I can't remember because I went down a hole. And
I'm not sure who that is.
And I was like, oh my God, I love his videos. And then I started watching people the app, if you worked with him, if you did anything with him, he was just this terrible person. Cookian.
Okay,
yeah. So I was like, don't show me. And the other one, who's the one from New York? The girl.
Petty Page?
Nope, I like her.
I don't even want... I forgot her name.
The one that got into it with Sanders.
She got in with everybody.
Yeah, but she disables comments on her videos, and it's just bitch, if you're
Does she still make videos?
I don't know. I asked YouTube to stop showing to me.
I know
she wears a Cookie Monster hat or something,
and she has a bunch of stuffed animals behind her.
I just don't like the way she approaches her videos. It's Cookie Monster's fucking bomb, but you're not. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Who's the guy from Two-Face? Is he the one who said she was the ugliest person?
Oh, that's terrible. Why would you say that? Well, I don't like the guy from Two-Face either.
I don't either.
I don't buy their makeup.
I don't either. Taylor, I try to talk Taylor out of buying their foundation.
I remember what your ray of light is.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, the Democratic people that have been dropping out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, do you want to do that? That's next.
Oh, ray of light's early?
No, but you have Kamala Harris on here.
Okay, so... This is my ray of light, and it's terrible that it's my ray of light because I'm celebrating somebody's failure.
Not terrible.
But Kamala Harris has dropped out of the presidential...
No. You need to say it like you wrote it.
Kamala Harris dropped the fuck out.
He was so excited.
I was so excited. I literally left my break early, ran back into our bay and talked to go to Jessica's desk, and she wasn't at her fucking desk.
He was mad.
And I was like, where the hell is she? So I was staring at the door until she walked back in, and I was like, come here.
He waved me
now.
down like the people on the tarmac at the airport. I was like, oh shit, what did I say?
And I said, it's a great day today because I'm doing great at work right now. And Kamala Harris just announced she's dropping out.
He's so happy, you guys. You could see the joy.
It's just, there's so many people.
Right. You're not celebrating people's failures. It's just that there's so many people
and she was also a very problematic.
Yeah.
Like, she's very up there with Hillary in terms of she could be damaged very easily and not elected.
Right.
So I'm glad she's out. I'm sorry that, like, she's one of the first viable black female presidential candidates, and her thing didn't last long. But she's breaking barriers and allowing for more women of color and black women especially to run for office. And
sometimes that's your path, and sometimes that's what you were meant to do, and you did it. You went in there, sis. You debated. You did very well. We're proud of you, but
she's gone.
We need to narrow this shit down, at least for Mario's mental sanity, because it is a constant topic between the two of us.
It really is.
It's always like, we have too many people. And I'm like, I know, Mario.
And then two people just jumped in.
I know.
So really, we're at a net game, or we're even. We've because somebody else dropped out.
Very stressed out right now.
Somebody else dropped out.
Steve Bullock.
And in on my thing, I just have because I don't remember him.
Me either.
I never paid attention to him, but he's gone. Bye, bitch. That's what it said. Thing as well.
This is what I read Saturday morning, and I was just cracking up in my bed.
I'm glad he's gone. I'm so glad.
We're ready to narrow this shit down.
We really are. Like, it really needs.
What's our big picture? We got to get the Cheeto out.
Yeah,
we're taking back the orange, as Chelsea Handler would say.
That's the goal, and hopefully we can.
And
can do it.
This one I wasn't even aware of. The Queen is not dead.
Yes,
great. So, I'm happy.
Allegedly,
so she's alive.
Somebody leaked to the press WhatsApp messages claiming that she died and that they were going to be making an announcement at a certain time to begin everything.
So faked.
And I was like, what the fuck? And so then it turned out she wasn't dead.
No.
She's alive. They posted a picture of her and everything.
But they did kind of hint that she'd be retiring soon.
What?
Yeah. When she hits like 95. That's the rumor.
Why wait till then? Girl, you're 93?
I don't know.
Like, honey...
Let her do it, though. She's doing it. Let her do it. It's fine.
You can't wipe your own ass. You can't roll in a country.
You don't know that she can't wipe her own ass.
That's just a safe assumption.
I can't even... We're not scared of the Queen of England, but we're shaking over Scientology. Oh, hi, Carly Bible. I'm not going to watch you right now.
Oh, okay.
And so I was looking at downloading, like, just, like, fun different books for work. Mm-hmm. And I came across something called The Beautiful Poetry of Donald Trump. And I was like, is this serious? Did he really write poetry? But the guy who put it together took clips from everything that he said to make poetry.
Oh my God.
So it's almost satirical.
Oh my God.
And I kind of want to listen to it because I don't know. But it's so funny. It says this collection will give readers a glimpse into Trump's innermost thoughts and feelings on everything from the nature of truth to what annoys him about Cher, and will reveal a hitherto hidden Donald who may surprise and delight both students and critics alike. So what I'm picturing is this is just a bunch of like Twitter feed.
Possibly.
I think that's hysterical.
I wonder if they hired an actor to...
I'm here for it, though.
Sound like him.
I'm so living for it.
That sounds funny as fuck.
I found it on those audiobooks that you sent me to that like website that has free ones. I found it on there. So I was like dying. And so that's the end of our short little commentary of stuff that's happened this week. Thank you for listening.
Yay. Now, moving on, we have a couple of icebreakers that we wanted to spend a little bit more time with. Mm-hmm. So this one I'm not really familiar with, so you can go ahead and take it.
So you don't have a Google phone, but like I can scroll left and it pulls up all of like articles and videos and stuff related to things that like I listen to on my phone or watch.
Oh.
Right? So let me show you really quick.
That's
I know you can't see it, yeah. So this is my homepage. If I go this way, like it pulls up anything that might be interesting to me. So, like, obviously the first one is stuff coming out from the Office Ladies and Podcast. And so this pulled up in that because I listen to My Favorite Murder constantly. So I'm so happy for them. Daniel and I had a long talk about it because I was like, why would they do that? And he had to break it down. So if you don't know, the girls from My Favorite Murder, Georgia Hardstark and Karen Kilgariff, started their podcast in 2017.
Yeah, they met at a party.
They met at a party. They started out talking about true crime in Georgia's living room in her apartment. And then they went from that to live tours, to international live tours. And now it's this big thing.
They have their own podcasting network now.
It's called the Exactly Right Network because Karen says that all the time. That's exactly right. And Stitcher signed a deal with Exactly Right that for 2 years, they're going to basically pay for the production and anything else that's going to come with the 19 podcasts that they're going to be releasing on the Exactly Right network in the next 2 years. Stitcher is going to be getting all of the advertising revenue, like a big chunk of it, as a result of this 2-year deal.
So, like, are they only doing Stitcher advertisements?
I think most of their stuff comes from Stitcher. Like, people still listen to them on Stitcher the most.
Oh.
That's where they have, like, the highest ranking. They've always been in well with Stitcher. So Stitcher said, great, you guys are killing it. You're coming out with 19 podcasts. Allow us to fund this for you. And just let us take a big chunk of the advertising revenue that comes from it. Because even though Mario and I don't listen to Jensen and Holes, a lot of people like Jensen and Holes.
Yeah.
Like, I was reading, they have so many good
reviews.
They have a good followership. They have good reviews. These are people that want to be, like, online detectives. Like, what are they called? Armchair detectives?
Yeah.
And then the Fall Line was around before the Exactly Right network, but that is a bomb-ass podcast. I was listening to that before I was listening to My Favorite Murder, and now they're on their network. Like, they have an exclusivity with them. And then they have a cute, fun ones, but they're coming out with 19 new podcasts.
That's wild.
In the next 2 years.
Is the Percast on that?
The Percast is on that. Ride Along With Us, something like that. That's Karen's.
Oh, okay.
Karen has a podcast. Steven has a podcast. Steven! It's a joke. If you don't listen, you should. The Fall Line, this podcast will kill you. I think, and Jensen and Holes, so I think they have 5.
Wow.
They're going to come out with 19, and Stitcher is going to fund that shit.
That's impressive.
I, love this for them.
Me too.
This is so great. Oh, I love it. And I turned 2 girls at work onto My Favorite Murder.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's great.
So they just have advertising rights, but there's not an exclusivity deal with Stitcher.
So, like, they can still get...
They're still going to be on all the podcasting networks.
Okay.
Yeah, but Stitcher is going to be the one to align and sign up their advertising, and they're going to get a portion of that advertising. Because they don't even need it at this point.
Yeah, really? I guess not.
They don't. They have tours that get sold out. They just had My Favorite Weekend. People flew out to Santa Barbara to get drunk and listen to crime stories and live podcasts the whole weekend. That sounds like my dream.
I don't know if I'd want that.
Oh my God, I'm living for it.
Like, cons really freak me out. Like, I used to want to go to a con, and then I realized, like, the amount of, like, people that'll be there.
But it's not going to be like that. Not there. Like, you had to buy hotel rooms, and that already weeds out.
That's how all cons are.
Right, but no, because you can drive up to go to the con here. You don't have to buy a hotel room to get into the con.
Oh, but a lot of them you do. Like...
people are...
Like the Harry Potter conventions?
Sure, but, like, cons usually are, like, super, super big. Like, what is it here that's here? DCon, Dragon Con? Mm-hmm. Like, you have all these different things within Dragon Con. You're talking about these are My Favorite Murder people specifically. Like, yeah. I'm into true crime and I want to get drunk. That sounds like my dream. I want to hang out with those bitches. I should have gone. But it was expensive. So they're making bank. Georgia just bought a house.
Did she?
Yeah, she bought a house.
Good for her.
Yeah, like, they're doing really well.
I don't know. Too many people like that sometimes are too gung-ho and it's too weird.
Oh,
I've learned that a lot with the Harry Potter community. Announcement also. We didn't talk about this, actually.
Let's do that at the end.
Should we?
Yeah, it's a ray of light.
Okay, that is a ray of light.
It is a ray of light.
Okay, cool. Okay. But I didn't disclose a lot of details. Like, she gave me a lot of good ideas, too.
Great. Well, why didn't you tell me that during our board meeting?
I totally spaced it until just now. That's why I had, like, a moment and, like, fell back in the chair.
Mario and I had a board meeting this morning, and you think he would tell me about it. So we're going to have a follow-up board meeting after we're done recording.
Okay.
I can't. You want to do the next one?
Sure. So, America's Got Talent, which is a very popular
I don't know
show.
Why.
I enjoy it.
When
I've watched it, I've enjoyed it.
I don't like shows like that.
I don't like... I think it's cool because they celebrate talent, even if it's not singing. Because usually singing competitions are, like, it. But it's like, I want to see other things. Like, they have stuff with, like, pets. They have stuff with, like sword swallowing, and it's just very fascinating. And usually they have a good, like, rapport with the judges and everything. I'm not a big fan of Simon, but I like most of the other people on it.
I'm not into it. I don't watch shows like that.
But regardless, they're currently doing one called America's Got Talent: The Champions, which is where they take previous winners of all the different Got Talents from around the world, and they compete to win, like, the best of the world. And so Gabrielle Union was on it with Howie Mandel, Simon Cowell, and Julianne Hough. And allegedly, according to NBC and their people, she was difficult to work with. But it's not the fact that she's difficult to work with, at least in my opinion.
I don't think it's...
This is complete bullshit. Because she rightfully complained to HR about things, which you're supposed to do.
That's why HR exists.
Exactly. So there were some racially offensive jokes that were made, one by Jay Leno. And she
what
immediately...
What are you doing, Jay?
He made like a really disparaging comment about Asian people eating dogs. And
I don't know why that joke is still funny. Like, I don't think it's funny.
And so she's like, you guys have to cut that. And they're like, oh, don't worry, we will. But she went to HR about it because they have Asian people who work on the show. And she's like, that's offensive to them. We're not doing this. She's not about that bullshit. And then there was also another performer who did acts impersonating like different people, but then especially black women, and did like super stereotypical black women things to represent them.
The hands were darkened as
well. And he had darkened hands. So she was not about that either, because you're not going to disrespect women of color.
Hands, baby, just like blackface. You're not supposed to do that.
And she had an issue with it. It got cut, luckily, because of her pressure, but they didn't like that.
But you know what? I know that they would have not aired that. Like, I
don't know about that.
I wish that they would have. I wish that someone would have signed off on it, and then it aired, and then it fully had gotten the backlash. But she's trying to help save the network's face. Like,
but on top of that, they did statistics. Like, third parties did studies of their social media interacting. Their social media is up 50%.
Was it because of her?
And it's all because of
Absolutely.
her. Because 50% of all social media interactions had something to do with Gabrielle Union for that season of the show. So she brought people who have not watched the show previously, black people, because this show really isn't aimed towards black people.
Black girl magic. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah. And
I'm down with the lingo, kids.
Stop. Oh my God. Have you seen Girls Trip?
With Jada?
Yeah. And
Tiffany Haddish?
I just got major Kate Walsh vibes.
Did you? Great.
Have fun on your hashtag Black Girl Magic weekend.
I'll be that bitch. I'm here for the queen, so I'll be that bitch. I'll be that white supportive bitch.
God, I should watch that tonight. I love that movie so much.
I love that movie.
That was like my favorite movie of that year.
I love Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, she's so good. All of them are so good.
They're all so funny together.
They're doing a sequel. I cannot fucking wait.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I don't know if it's going to be about Essence, but I'm still watching it regardless.
It was awesome.
Anyway, back to this. Also, she had gotten multiple comments about her hair being too black for America's Got Talent's audience.
You can't see it, but I'm rolling my eyes.
Because she changed her hair up, and who cares?
Black girls can do that.
They can, and they're very good at it. Like,
I wish that I could wear my wigs to work, but I feel so self-conscious. A girl throws a wig on and she looks great. It's so stupid.
And so...
Why are we having this conversation? It's 2019.
Well, and also she came for Simon, quote-unquote came for, in the sense that they have...
to be dragged.
Their dressing rooms are literally just curtains. And so he would smoke in his dressing room, and hers was right next to him, and she's allergic to cigarette smoke. Or has
and wouldn't she also bring her baby to work sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. And he would be smoking, and so she'd complain like, hey, can you not do that? And he completely blew it off. And so that's quote-unquote her being difficult. Like, she's just trying to make a better work environment, less toxic, healthier, because it's against the law in California to smoke.
That NBC doesn't lose face by airing racially charged jokes in the name of talent.
Yep.
I hate shows like that.
And so...
They feel so fake to me.
Yeah.
I can't stand that
But
shit.
Apparently, according to, like, everybody, her commentary was always the most sincere, the most honest, the most fair, and everybody loved her for it. And so the fact that they fired the best, most beloved judge of the season because, she didn't want people to be offended and didn't want racially charged things on the show, who fucking cares?
She was trying to help you out.
And then also they're breaking some... It's illegal to smoke inside a place of work in California.
Yeah,
so, like...
It's not an NBC thing. That's, like...
a California thing.
Right. I don't know.
So I don't know. It's terrible.
She could have just called the police, Simon. You could have been slapped with a fine.
And then Simon's people were like, we wish you would have come to us with this before going public about it.
No,
I was like, of course you did, because you don't want people to know.
I brought it to you when I needed to bring it to you, and that was after you let me go. So you let me go.
No, it was before she let them go. She brought to them all these things before them, and that's what caused them to let her go, because she was trying to advocate for people. And... luckily, the internet's on her side for this.
Do your thing, ISIS, because I'm just not feeling it. I'm sorry. That's a Bring It On quote. That's what they yell before she performs. That's what they yell.
In 2020, with ISIS being a thing, I'm like, what the fuck is she saying? Is she encouraging that?
Gabrielle Union's character was called Isis in Bring It On, and right before she performs and shows the girls that stole their routine, the entire crowd gets quiet. She holds up her hands like a queen, and someone yells, "Do your thing, Isis!" And it's amazing.
I love that movie.
I love that movie, and I'm going to watch it today after I finish Harry Potter.
Do it, girl. Do it. But it's cold in here. I say there must be some clovers in the atmosphere. I was so happy when they won at the end, too.
Absolutely. They deserved to win.
They really did. And
Gabrielle Union is a queen, and NBC fucked up.
They did, but also, like, they're saying, we're going to try and work this out and see what happens.
No,
but
fuck you. We're done working it out.
At the same time, if they brought her back... Like, how would that work, you know?
Why would she go back?
That's true. I hope another talent show or a new talent show that comes out snatches her up.
Just to be a salty ass
bitch. Absolutely.
I would do it, too.
I would.
Let's start our own show and call Gabrielle Union, because I am not feeling it. And it can be a cheerleading show.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I don't know if she's too invested in cheerleading now.
I'm just saying, honey.
I'd be here for it. It'd be on brand.
Like, fuck them.
Now, another side note is her family posted...
Which I thought we were going to talk about this more.
We can talk about this, too.
Yeah, I want to.
I want to talk about both because I think both things are very
still
important.
on Gabrielle Union, guys.
Also, side note, Julianne Hough completely was like, I love NBC. NBC's great. We're doing a bunch of shows together. I have no issues with NBC. Like, fuck you. But apparently
But Meredith Grey stuck up for her.
But she's on a different network.
It doesn't matter. Meredith Grey... What is her name? I shouldn't call her.
Ellen Pompeo.
Ellen Pompeo. I'm sorry.
Ellen Pompeo is very woke, and I'm here for it.
Well, yeah, her husband is black. She has mixed children. She sees what's going on in the world, and she's, as a parent, doing what she needs to do to show her children how they're supposed to act in this world.
Yeah, no, and she calls out white women constantly.
All the time. I appreciate it. Thank you for your criticisms, Ellen.
But, I mean, her and, like, a lot of other female celebrities came out in support of Gabrielle Union.
You know why?
I think it's great.
Because vagina's fucking hooray. That's why.
But also... she's doing what's right. And in Hollywood, it's hard for women to do what's right without being deemed difficult. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad she's making the stance and she's using her celebrity for good and being honest and open about what's going on here.
So swing your braids, Gabrielle, because you look fine and you look amazing.
No,
and everybody likes you.
Exactly.
So fuck NBC. No one likes Simon Cowell.
Some people do.
Why?
I don't know.
He looks like he swallowed a lemon.
Have you seen him recent? He looks really... His eyes look like evil. I don't understand. Like,
I never liked him.
I think his eyelids are drooping because he's getting older, and it looks just... I don't know, like he's just staring you down. And
I have never liked him. I live for those videos where Demi Lovato is putting him in his place. Because he would be like a dick to Demi Lovato. And Demi Lovato would be like, you're an asshole on like live TV. And I'd be like, I'm living for it.
I never watched The X Factor. I should have because of Britney, because I should have been a supportive fan. But I was like, I just don't care.
I just don't care either. There's so many other ways to get your talent out there. And it's so hard to get like a real career in the music industry once you get on one of those shows. There's only really a handful of people that have gone on to have successful like careers. There's a handful compared to how many episodes there are or seasons there are of, what is it, The Voice.
Nobody from The Voice has been successful.
But that's because of things behind the scene. That has to do with like contracts and...
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. I don't know where I heard that, but that was one of the things that I heard.
Because I know with American Idol, they've spawned a lot of stars. Even people who did not win.
But not successful. Not successful like Kelly Clarkson,
Jennifer Hudson, Adam Lambert, Kelly Pickler, Catherine McPhee.
Where's Kelly Pickler?
She's in all these Hallmark movies.
Oh, I don't consider Hallmark.
That's success, girl. That's money.
Not for sure. Okay, money in terms of that.
Catherine McPhee's in a lot of acting now. Mm-hmm. Let's see who else. Fantasia Barrino is very big.
Very big. But how many seasons are there compared to actual people who made it?
No, that's true. But at the same time, it's a chance for exposure. And that exposure, what you do with that exposure, Adore Delano from RuPaul's Drag Race.
I don't even know who that is.
She's the #1 most beloved drag queen of all of RuPaul's Drag Race. Okay. She started off on American Idol. She was Danny Noriega. It was one of the first young gay people I've ever seen on television. So I followed him online and everything. And he became a Dortolano and went on to RuPaul's Drag Race.
I would respect these shows more if they weren't so fucking...
Carrie Underwood.
I said Carrie Underwood.
I didn't say Carrie Underwood.
Okay. So you named off like 9. There have been like... How many seasons?
12?
No.
15? I don't know.
It's a lot. But what I'm saying is that I would be more apt to watch these shows, but I absolutely hate the embarrassing stuff at the beginning of them.
Oh yeah, that's why I always skip that part.
But that's your show. You chose to air that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not supporting it. I'm not doing it. I don't like it. I don't watch shows like that. I don't even like the dance ones, and I love.
Oh, so you
dance.
think you dance?
Yeah.
Or Dancing
my
with
god.
Stars?
I watched. No. Fuck that. I don't watch that.
I can't with the lady and the guy. Bruno, he's so over the top. I cannot stand it. And then is it Carrie Ann Inaba? She also is over the top because she's trying to keep up with him.
I'm so stressed
and
out.
they just try so hard, and it's so stressful to watch. It's embarrassing. It's secondhand embarrassing.
The first season of So You Think You Can Dance.
Uh-huh.
And then I watched, like, the 8th season because my favorite choreographer was the hip-hop choreographer for the second half of the season. And then the people they had on that stage could not even do the dances that he was having them choreograph. And I was like, I'm done. I'm out. You have, like, little Molly tap dancing. You're trying to bring black flavor to this show because he's a black choreographer. But, like, none of these people can do it. The way that he has non-famous people competing in his studio, completing the work with more heart. So I just was like, I'm done. I'm out. I don't like those competition shows. Like, it just... I don't know. Like, I'm over it. I don't know why we still have them. Why are they still airing?
Because people watch them.
I guess, but stop watching them. YouTube has wonderful dance people that deserve your support and your AdSense.
But I never was under the impression that So You Think You Can Dance was as big as...
The very first season, that's how they promoted it. It was, and it really was that big in the dance community.
In the community, maybe.
Anyway, I don't watch them. I think they're ridiculous.
Regardless... Moving on from that. Okay. That was a big tangent. Sorry. So Gabrielle Union and her husband Dwayne Rain posted a picture of their family on Thanksgiving, and they had
beautiful family.
Their 2 children, and people were pointing out that their oldest child, Zion, I don't know their preferred pronouns. I don't know
what Zion's preferred pronoun is.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying they. And I also don't know what they identify
Zion
as.
now.
Absolutely. I don't know what Zion identifies as. I know it's somewhere on the queer spectrum because they went to Pride with them for...
Dwayne and Gabby went to Pride with
as a family. To celebrate and to embrace him. And so people were dragging them as a family because Zion has long white nails and a crop top. And... It was completely ridiculous.
Picture, I don't even think it was a crop top. It's just the way he had his arm up on his dad or
maybe
Zion's
so.
dad.
It was a very short-cut shirt.
Pronoun.
And regardless of the situation, the internet was, like, trying to drag Zion. And, like, one, this is a child.
And Gabby and Dwayne.
But, like, one, this is a child. Like, why are you going to come for somebody's child like this? 2, their parents are clearly cool with whoever they are as a person. Absolutely. And however they're wanting to express their gender identity and sexuality.
What a great
So what the fuck
home
does it have to do
in.
with you? I wish my parents were an ounce of this supportive when I was growing up.
Who are you telling?
And the fact that Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Rain are killing it as parents in this regard, like how fucking dare you?
And Zion he's still young, like he's still figuring out his own sexuality. Like give the boy a moment, or the girl, to give Zion a moment to breathe, because my niece went through something similar and then now she's like back on boys. It's like, let the kid express
and explore.
Like that's the whole point of being a child. You explore the world around you and find out where you fit, and it's like good on the parents for supporting that. Most parents should be like that.
Yeah.
And oh my god,
Dwayne Reed had like the best response in regards to it.
It made me juicy. It was wonderful.
And it was essentially, I was chosen to lead my family, not you, so let me do it. And I was like, right on, because that's one, that's not being antagonistic or confrontational.
No, it's also checking you.
Yeah, but it's also saying, look, this is my family. This is how I choose to raise my family. I love my family. Just because you wouldn't love your kid if they were like my kid doesn't mean I shouldn't, or I'm not going to love my kid with all my heart. So fuck you.
Let's follow this all the way through, though, because maybe someone's listening and you drag them. What was the intention? What was the point? Were they supposed to just automatically turn on Zion and be like, get the fuck out. Like, we're done with you now. The world has made us see our mistakes. And now this child is out homeless on the street, doesn't know where to go, can't get fill-in for those beautiful nails they have.
Or do whatever they can do to survive.
And probably now depressed. Like, what was the point? Sometimes it's just better to mind your own business.
Yeah.
And, like, at the end of the day, what Zion does now or when he's older absolutely has no effect or bearing on you as a person.
And just because you had a bad childhood or your parents made you stop expressing yourself however you wanted to do.
Maybe you had a great childhood. Still, what he's doing has nothing to do with you.
Let them live.
It shouldn't even bother you. And if it's bothering you, you need to figure out why it's bothering you. Maybe you want to suck a dick. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I have to feel like people who are homophobic are because they're scared to even think
acknowledge
that maybe...
their queerness.
Like, don't be homophobic. Like, sexuality is a spectrum. How you feel it, express it. Like, he's a child. Yeah. Relax.
Let him live.
Oh, my God.
Let them live.
Yeah, he's trying to do right by their kid. Fuck you.
But right on, Gabrielle Union.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You're an amazing...
They're very lucky to have parents like that.
Absolutely. Most of us did not.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my parents, but we could not be more different.
Yeah.
And they are supportive for the things that they respect, not what I respect. Like, I'm still very much viewed as a child and as an extension of them. Mm-hmm. And that's not the reality. I'm not an extension of my parents. I'm my own person.
Did your doorbell just ring?
I have no idea.
I heard like a ding.
No, well, Daniel's here.
Oh, okay.
But I am not an extension of my parents. Like, I am an actual human being with my own experiences in the world, and I'm living it the way that works best for me.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't get it. And that's how I treat my own children. Mm-hmm. I've never, ever been offended by anybody queer. Ever. Like, I've never been like, oh my God, that's disgusting. But I also don't completely identify as straight. Mm-hmm. Like, I know sexuality is a spectrum. Like, let's all be okay.
Yeah.
Let's just be okay.
Absolutely. So fuck y'all if you're coming for this child.
Absolutely. Let the boy live, and his nails look amazing.
Yeah.
They look better than my press-ons.
I wonder if those are press-ons. Maybe
they are. Good job, Zion. You look amazing. And your mom's hairstyle changing is amazing, too.
And I know there's a lot of this is in regards to the Black community, because they aren't the most welcoming of gay or queer people.
And that's a deep-rooted issue there that I don't feel comfortable touching on.
Absolutely. No, I just want to say, like, right on for Dwayne Reed for Wade.
Wade. It's Wade.
Dwayne Wade. I keep saying Reed. I don't know why.
I want to say Dwayne Wayne, but it's Dwayne Wade.
Well, right on for him for not giving into that and standing his ground and fully loving his parents.
And I would also like to point out that is true masculinity.
Absolutely. Because he's not threatened by difference. He's embracing it.
And he's not threatened by people coming for him either. He's still going to put his family out there.
Absolutely, because that's his family and that's who he loves.
He should be proud of them.
Right on. Now, moving on to... From one bit of immaturity to another.
My favorite. This might be my favorite, because Mario was also living for this.
This was so exciting to me. Like,
so if you've been listening since day one, you know Mario's obsessed with Justin Trudeau.
Oh, I'm not obsessed. I think he's a babe. He could get it any from Sunday. Like,
that's not obsessed.
I'm not obsessed. Like, I don't follow him constantly.
We talk about him more than I've ever talked about him.
No, I've only talked about him like thrice on this podcast. Mario
really likes Justin Trudeau.
He's cute.
He's okay.
I don't know if I agree with all of his political stances, but he's
okay.
Cute.
You don't have to.
Regardless, Macron, who is the president or prime minister of France?
Yes,
one of the two.
Prime minister. President.
Whatever of France. He's the leader of France.
Yep.
Then the Dutch prime minister, and then Princess Anne, who is the queen's daughter, were caught talking shit about Trump at like a NATO meeting.
And honestly, who's surprised we're all talking shit about Trump? But like, why is this a shock? It's like, no, who talks good about Trump? Like, I have to believe that Republicans are standing in the back of like the House of Congress, be like, that motherfucker is just insane. What are we going to do?
Not a goddamn thing.
Well, they can't do anything. They have to protect their party. But everybody's talking shit about Trump.
They don't have to protect their party. Oh my God, they need to put country before party and get him out of fucking office.
The point is everyone's talking shit about Trump.
Yeah, but they got caught. Because, I mean, to be fair, they were standing in the middle of a big crowd, like at a party.
Great. Love it.
And somebody just recorded it on their phone and shared it with like a news source.
They got a couple drinks in them. And they're like, can you believe the fucking spray tan on the man that leads the United States?
That's not all it was said. But
no, but like for me.
What kind of Canadian accent is that, girl?
I was British. I was doing Princess Anne.
Okay.
I can't do a Canadian. It sounds like American, right? Except for
A.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, they say sorry.
They say sorry. The Sorry Girls. I love that
I
channel.
love the Sorry Girls. Oh my God.
I love them.
They're so cute. I love them.
Tangent. If you have not seen the Sorry Girls on YouTube, you should. They are so cute.
They're one of my favorite DIY
They're
channels.
so good. I love them.
I love their loft. I would live there.
Absolutely.
Anyway. So Trump heard about this. It went around fast because they were just in like a party. Essentially, it's like one of those like mixers where like all the political people get together and chat. They never said his name, but they were talking about how he had an impromptu 45-minute press conference about himself. And there's nobody else who fucking did that but Trump. So we knew. They all knew.
And, like, if you don't want people talking about the dumb shit you do, don't do dumb shit. Like, that's all I can say.
Exactly.
It's like when people write books about how their parents were terrible parents and their parents get mad, it's like, well, you were a terrible parent. Like,
yeah. Like, don't be mad because we're calling you out on your bullshit. Like, you did some bullshit.
If you want to call a 45-minute press conference meeting to stroke your own dick, great. But we're all laughing at you. Like, no one is like, oh my God, amazing, absolutely.
It just goes to show that the world does not take us seriously. Or
amazing.
Him.
But I don't take us seriously.
I used to take us seriously.
No, absolutely not. I've known from a very young age this is all a farce.
Yeah.
Anyway, please read the last line of your bullet points, because this is when I laughed at work, like, really loudly.
Oh, Trump called Trudeau Two-Face. And I was like, is this high school? That Two-Face bitch. She was talking shit about me. I had heard. She doesn't know that I know everybody in this place. But he's a good person. We have a great relationship. That's how he ended the comment. And
I'm so sorry. Listen, this is how I feel about people who call people Two-Face. That person obviously did not feel comfortable giving you the critique that you clearly needed, and you took it personally, and that's why they can't tell you shit in the first place.
Yeah.
So call me two-faced, but everything I say, I don't know. I like Trudeau more now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't give a shit about him before, but I like his angular face now.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
You could grate cheese on those cheekbones,
You
girl.
certainly could, and then pour it on that Cheeto.
Ew. That'd be gross.
Two-Face. I just have a vision now of him like, oh, hey, Trump, how's it going? That is the fuggliest looking toupee I've ever seen.
Exactly. Like, he's the Mean Girls. He's Regina George.
I'm into it. He can be Regina George. Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Stop.
Anyway.
Okay. Now, speaking of Two-Faced, we saw Frozen 2. So we'll be right back with that. So, welcome back. Today we're talking about Frozen 2 because we both saw it together.
We saw it. Mario went with me and my kids.
And I was overwhelmed by the amount of snacks. I was not ready for this.
You have to take snacks everywhere you go with kids.
I usually never snack at the movies. Like,
insane.
I'll get like a slushie. Sometimes I'll get popcorn. I really have to be in the
mood.
mood.
Like popcorn.
And I have to have just been paid because it's literally an arm and a fucking leg for popcorn.
I don't like popcorn.
I love popcorn.
We get one large bag and the kids split it.
So, sometimes I'll bring like gummies because it's quiet. But
I have to have snacks during a movie, even at home.
You know, she brought like some gluten-free, like spicy, cheesy things.
Absolutely.
That gave me heartburn for like the next day. I had like 3, and I'm like, what the fuck was in that? Like
jalapenos.
I guess, but I eat jalapenos all the time.
I don't know.
Like, I don't understand. Did you say jalapenos?
Jalapenos.
Who are you?
I say jalapenos too.
Stop. Oh my God.
I do.
That one kills me.
I love to make fun of people who can't say the word. It's jalapeno, and I know that. But like when I go to the line to get nachos, I don't say, can I get some jalapeno?
I do.
I say, can I get some jalapenos?
Bro, you need to let your Latinas shine, girl.
No, it's fine, because sometimes they look at you like, what did you say?
Jalapeno. The green things.
But now it's taking too long. Like, I want to get out of the line and out of the crowd. Like,
I'm not going to dim my Latino-ness.
I'm not dimming it. I'm shining out my anxiety, and I don't like talking to people I don't know, even if it's to get food. I'm the most awkward person.
I've never had anybody question me when I say jalapeno. They know what I mean.
It's my anxiety. That's how I roll.
Regardless.
Animal print pants, out of control.
We saw it with her sister, niece, and 2 kids. And they had so many snacks.
So many
snacks. They were good.
They were great.
I got, like, they fucking bought, what are they, those, like, the stick, like the candy stick.
Oh, my sister bought those, yeah.
And I was like, I haven't had one of these since I was, like, 12. Yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. Because she asked me, a fun dip. She's like, do you want a fun dip? And I was thinking, like, it was one of those things.
Mario was like, what's a fun dip?
Like, was it, like, one of the things with the crackers and you dip it in the frosting?
No, those are Dunkaroos, and I love those.
Well, those are different than Dunkaroos. The Dunkaroos are the little graham crackers. I was thinking, like, the sticks that you dip in the frosting. It's kind of like the cheese ones that you stick.
I've never seen that.
Oh.
We had snacks. We went to the Family Dollar. Even you have 2 kids and you pay $40 just to get into the movie.
Damn. This is why I don't want kids.
I hear you.
She didn't either.
I only go to see kids movies. Like Daniel and I almost went to see Queen and Slim last night. Like we talked about it.
I heard it's very good.
Yeah, because we didn't have our kids last night. And
did you listen to the episode of The Read where they interviewed him about it?
I did.
It was so good. It made me want to see the movie.
Oh, I wanted to see it though.
I hadn't heard about it until you talked about it.
I follow not the director, but I follow that actor pretty well. I love him. I think he's incredible. He
kind of made me feel some type of way about him in Black Panther because he betrayed them, but
I don't know. Anyway, sorry, back on topic. I only go see kids movies, and Daniel and I were like, well, let's go. I was like, well, what if we go see Queen and Slim tonight? And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. Like, I've heard mixed reviews about it. I was like, I heard great things about it. And then I was like, are we really going to pay like $35 to get like snacks and go to the movies when we both know we're just going to watch it here on the big screen while I make nachos at home?
That sounds good.
So we didn't go. And instead we got drunk and had really good sex.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Mario went with a full Latino family.
I did, and I've never experienced that before because my family doesn't go to the movies.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm the one in my family who will go to the movies.
I like taking my niece and my kids to the movies a lot. They have a good time together. They're very close.
But in regards to the movie, did we want to do like a quick synopsis? Well, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the movie, we're going to be talking about in-depth plot details and criticisms or likes about it.
So he just waved his hand dismissively at me because I actually liked it.
It wasn't dismissively.
That was like a Wingardium Leviosa.
I pointed at me when I said criticism,
and then
I pointed at her.
You flipped that drag queen arm around and dismissed my thought bubbles. That's what you did.
I didn't hate the movie.
I loved it.
I thought it was okay.
Loved it. No, I was so into
it. I thought
my sister didn't like it as much as I did either. She was on your side. Like you guys had a lot of the same opinions.
Well, going on first, essentially what happens is Anna is having like a full schizophrenic moment. She's hearing things, or not Anna, Elsa. She's having like a full schizophrenic moment. She is hearing voices.
The Fifth Element schizophrenic?
Girl, Miss Thing was hearing voices.
But it was a real thing.
It wasn't. We never saw who was making that noise.
Mario, that was like
the river.
Yes, it was calling to her because
river was calling to her.
She had not fulfilled her destiny. Don't you dare try. No. Just because you didn't get it, you're not going to talk down about it.
I got it. I just wasn't here for it. There wasn't a
schizophrenic moment.
So she was hearing voices. Calling to her.
Beautiful melody. This is going to be like Mario.
A beautiful melody, girl. That's haunting. I'd be freaked the fuck out.
My sister said it sounded like Michael Jackson. Do you remember that?
I did.
Oh my god!
I forgot.
And I was like, no, not Michael Jackson.
But no. So, like, you hear, like, this noise. But, like, if you were in your house by yourself and you just heard that, wouldn't you think there's a fucking ghost?
But I also don't have magical
the bed squeaked
powers.
And you thought there was a ghost.
Yeah, but I don't have magical powers. It's like the first time Dobby pops up in Harry Potter's room, that would have freaked me the fuck out. I went running. But he's like, you know what? This is part of, like, my world now. So, hi, how are you?
I don't know how Harry stayed calm under that. This is why I'm not a Gryffindor. I'd be like, what the fuck is this? We're calling the cops. There's a rat in my room. There's a giant rat, and it is trying to attack me.
So,
Uncle Vernon, help.
So Elsa's having a schizophrenic moment or a reduced memory with Michael Jackson.
And she's hearing this voice. And she ends up, like, they're living their lives. Like, Anna and Kristoff are, like, together still.
Olaf's chilling with his new permafrost.
Being like a philosopher.
Totally. I related to him the most.
Sven's still alive, luckily. I don't know how long reindeers live. He didn't get hunted.
Reindeers are better than people.
But Elsa isn't happy being queen. she doesn't feel fulfilled, I guess. And so one night after they play like charades, she hears the voice again because her and Anna sleep together, and they fell asleep in the same bed.
I can't.
That came out wrong. I'm so sorry.
I'm taking over this
episode title.
Anna
and Elsa sleep together.
I am taking over this synopsis.
Oh my god! I'm so sorry.
I can't with you. Frozen fever dream, guys. I can't.
She accidentally activates something that causes. They didn't really explain this. It causes like a natural disaster to happen to Arendelle, and
Elsa. I know what happened. Elsa.
The only reason you know what happened is because you watched like 19 Reason Why.
No, I have not. I
YouTube.
understood this in there. I came out of the movie theater arguing with the two of you. I understood what was happening in that movie.
I didn't.
That's fine.
It wasn't explained.
It doesn't have to be explained. If you're watching and you're paying attention.
It's a children's movie. Things shouldn't be implied.
That movie was made for the moms who took their kids 5 years ago. Let's not call this a children's movie.
This is
the princess movie we did not get growing up, where it was all about women and not about men. This is about us leading our own life, not wanting to be queens or princesses and just living in fucking nature doing our magic. Like, that's what this movie was about. Don't tell me that's a kid's movie. The kids were there for the pretty animation, but the deep shit was for mama, okay?
It was as deep as a puddle, girl.
That was so good. She connected with the mystical spirit that's trying to connect with her, because she is essentially, we find out later, the fifth element of the four elements of the earth. She's the bridge between the
Which
magical
they don't
world.
explain in the movie at all.
They do. The magical world and the real realm of Arendelle. And,
so is Anna, though.
Anna's the other side of the bridge.
Right.
Yeah, because her parents. Anyway.
Human centipede shit, you know?
She activated it, and it's like the little symbols pop up. They're beautiful, like diamond crystals in the air. That's when they decide to go into the... I don't remember the forest was called. Do you?
It's just the
I want to call it the Forbidden Forest, but...
Essentially.
Yeah.
It's a foggy forest. It's like the lost forest. It's a lost forest.
Yeah. Basically, there's some historical battle that happened there that kind of led to why Arendelle's prospering and, like, the forest is not. But then there's also ties to, like, the native people of their lands and...
These white men are dangerous.
All of the people that go into the forest have like a magical, they have some sort of transformation while they're in there.
Well, I was under the impression you have to be magical to get into the forest.
Elsa got them in.
Exactly. So like people don't just wander into this forest. People have been trapped in this forest.
No, for the sake of this movie, the people that do go in, Elsa and her crew. Yeah. They have some sort of like realization, transformation. It's really beautiful and symbolic.
And they meet with They go into this forest and they meet with the native people there.
And also the people from Arendelle with the original battle that have been trapped in there like 20 years, 30 years? 40 years?
It's been a long-ass time.
They're basically like just reliving the battle over and over again. They're just fighting with each other constantly. And you don't know what the battle's about.
I wasn't under that impression because...
When they came up on them, they had their like weapons raised.
Well, they were raised, yes, but that's because there's new people here. But also like him, like the black guy and the... Matthias and the...
I love that name, by the way.
It's Matthew in Spanish. But...
Mateo is Matthew in Spanish.
No, that's right. What is Matthias? Matthias is something in Spanish.
Probably the same... Matthias? I don't know. Maybe it's Mexican, because I don't know that I've heard it.
You never heard of Matthias?
I've never heard of Matthias.
Oh. No.
You could be right.
But anyway, regardless. Who cares? Mm-hmm. Him and the chiefess lady were like... holding arms. Like, they didn't seem... I feel like they fucked a couple of times. No. I got that impression.
Did we see the same movie?
Yeah.
It wasn't until the girls started talking and figuring everything out that's when they all got together. But when they walked up on them, they were, like, already, like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, they were already at each other.
I know, but I feel like they were, like, meeting each other. Like, you know how, like...
Mario wants this desperately to be a Frozen porn.
No. I just feel like...
You got Elsa and Anna sleeping together. You got Matthias and...
I just sense...
What's her name? Honey Baron? Honey Baron. Yeah, it's Honey Baron.
Something. Honey something.
It's Honey something.
Honey Mahogany. No. That's a drag queen.
That's a porno.
That's a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Sure.
It is.
I believe you.
She's from San Francisco. She's the first San Francisco
I bet
queen.
I could find a porno with that name.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Regardless. Regardless, they meet up with the people, convince them not to kill each other, and then like a fire lizard just turns up out of the blue.
But in the process, they also figure out that their mom is originally like a native person, their dad is an Arendelian, and like it's kind of...
And the mom saved his life when this forest originally...
Powers. Yeah.
And the mom has wind powers.
Right.
And... But like out of the blue, this lizard comes out. They don't explain the lizard that he's the fire spirit. They never explained that.
Did they have to? He was on fire.
So what if there's a lot of those little creatures here? We don't know anything about this forest.
But
we know.
Does everything have to be explained to you in the movie? Because for me, I'm not that way.
But this is very much the first draft of a movie that they just ran with.
I do not agree.
Like they... did not... Things need to be explained. You can't just understand the lore, especially when it's deep lore like this, where this is a representation of the fire spirit. This is the wind spirit. This is the water spirit, and she's uniting them. There's no explanation of that. There's no explanation of these elements.
I feel like I got that from the movie.
I didn't.
Okay, so...
I don't think a child would have either.
Again, I do not think that this was a kid's movie.
This is a children's movie. Regardless of how you feel about it, this is a children's movie. It was marketed to children. They're making toys for it.
Do you remember...
It is about...
Do you remember All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a children's movie. Dawn Bluth was not afraid of showing or having hard conversations with children.
I don't know. Like, it is a kid's movie. I'm just saying that to be argumentative. It is a kid's movie. But I also feel like there were movies I watched as a kid that I did not understand fully until I was an adult. That happened all the time with me.
I'm sure, but I mean, that's with anything in life, because you get perspective and you have a better understanding of things. But from a layman's point, just looking at the story, it doesn't make sense. They don't explain anything. It's just, we need to go north to look for this thing. So let's go north. And they go north and they happen to interact with the representation. They didn't even explain that the rocks were the representation of Earth, but they were the representation of Earth.
I feel like I knew that was the Earth spirit, though. Any time that there was this mystical thing, like I knew, okay, that's a representation of that spirit. Maybe it wasn't explained enough for like you. I don't know, but I feel like when watching it, I understood everything that they were putting out there. I'm also heavily into symbolism and metaphors.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm very big into metaphor. I'm good at telling a metaphor. Like I think in metaphor and things that representative. Like I'm very into that. But like, regardless of if I'm good at reading that or not, it's not a good story because it's not explaining to you why this is this or what's going on.
I felt that I got the explanation. I did.
And so essentially they talk to the native people. The native people say you should go to the river or whatever, which is up north. So we need to head north. Aganagamling or something like that.
Sure, let's go with that.
Close.
It's the magical river and it holds all the secrets.
And the truth. And their mom sang like a song to them about it as a kid, about like you'll drown in it if you get too deep.
And the song has like all the messages for Elsa to like listen to.
Right. And so they head out and they leave Kristoff behind. And so Kristoff... Oh, no, actually, we completely skipped the most important part of the movie. Going back when they fucking met up with everybody, and everybody's like, what the fuck's going on? Olaf retold the first movie, and it was the funniest shit I have seen in a Disney movie in a very long-ass fucking time.
Olaf is the...
Scene stealer?
Yeah, like he's the star of the show.
For this part.
This movie.
I honestly don't like Olaf. I liked him at first when I saw the first movie, and then I watched it over and over again, and I got tired of his voice.
Yeah.
And I felt like, okay, whatever, like, he's not funny. And then with this, I was kind of annoyed with him, and then, like, he made me like him again, and I was like, okay, this shit is so fucking funny.
He does a dramatic retelling.
Of the first movie.
And he does, like, the tones and the...
And then, like...
So... I laughed so hard.
The thing that made me laugh hardest, though, was when Matthias was like, oh my god.
Oh, no. For me, it was like, he was telling Anna and Elsa growing up, and then it's like him being all dramatic, and then it jump cuts to like his back turned to the audience, and he somberly looks over his shoulder and goes, and then they died.
About his parents.
Could not breathe. I was next to Mario. I thought I was going to choke on my cheesy bubbles. It was amazing, Mario. Oh my god.
Well, no, because it's like, so they were having to go to this thing.
They'll always have each other and their parents forever.
They died.
And it was so good.
It was so funny.
It's worth it just to see Olaf.
Honestly, that was the best part of the movie for me.
No, agreed. That was really good.
But anyway, fast forward, they leave Kristoff behind. Kristoff has the most amazing
that was
song.
So good.
Like, it's not even, I can't remember the song.
No.
I just remember it was an 80s movie, an 80s music video. And like they had it where his face was superimposed over side of the screen and he was facing off in the distance the other side of the screen.
The best.
It was, and then the reindeer were fucking singing.
Yes.
It was so funny.
It was, oh my God.
It was so good. It was like the first thing I said, what the fuck are we watching?
That was great. Someone got high and wrote that scene.
It was
great. I'm living for that shit.
It was fabulous.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then there's like another kid who speaks to reindeers too. And so he was like, oh my God, I made a friend.
Oh yeah, they connected. Yeah, which I thought was a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie, but whatever.
Oh, you could speak for them.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Dolittle, this is not that movie.
Like, I'm not like bashing anybody here, but Jonathan Groff is very, very
gay.
Oh, he's so flamboyant. And so like knowing him, and I watch his Broadway stuff and like his class, I love him. Okay. I love him. I even love him in fucking Glee, but in Glee,
he was a dick in Glee. And then she ended up with him.
And when he dated Leah Michele in that show, I was like, what? Why?
He married her.
Everybody, yeah, but I'm talking the first season. I'm like, he's so obviously just gay. Like gay. I don't ever take him seriously as a straight male. And so him in this movie, I always get like gay vibes.
Yeah.
And I can't help it because I know so much about him.
Yeah.
I love him.
It's hard to see it, to hear him as somebody else.
Yeah, it's hard to think of him as a straight man because I'm like, you want to wear Elsa's outfit.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I want to wear Elsa's outfit. I was living for her pantsuit at the end.
Oh, that was cute.
If I can find one for the Christmas party at my mother-in-law's house, I'm going to fucking wear it.
Oh my God.
I'm so into it.
But regardless, they go up north. Olaf, Anna, and Elsa.
And Anna annoyed the shit out of me in this movie.
I was very much on Anna's side in this movie.
But they had to complete the destiny, and Elsa was just trying to complete her destiny, and Anna was so scared of losing her sister, she couldn't trust her to do what was necessary.
But Elsa literally died because she didn't listen to Anna, and then Anna saved her.
But they still would have had a terrible time. Like, they had to finish the destiny. They had to right the wrongs of their ancestors. Mm-hmm. It had to get done. So you're saying she should have been like, you're right, Anna. I don't want to die. Let's stay in Arendelle.
They could have stayed together and figured it out together.
I think Elsa had to do it on her own.
Maybe so. But regardless, they randomly find the ship that their parents died in, which made no sense. Why the fuck is it there? I understand they went north, but they're literally in a forest.
They said that it probably washed up. Is what
in the middle of a forest. Washed up would be on the shore. They were not near water at this time.
It was the banks, like all that was beach. All that was beach. It's
was
like,
it?
Yeah, it's like in Seattle. Like you have like forest right up on, like right before the cliffs and the beaches all start. Remember, it was like in a cliff. I didn't even see it. And then Melissa was like, oh, look, that's the mast. They're going to find the ship. And I was like, how did you see that? I saw the
Arendellian flag.
Yeah. So they said that it washed up, but it was like in an inlet. It wasn't like on the shore.
Okay. It just, maybe I was just like so focused on it. I didn't know. Yeah. It looked like they were there in the middle of the forest still. And so... Yeah. Like, they found their parents' boat and figured out how they died because water has memory now. And so...
It made sense to me.
I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, like...
Olaf is the smartest person in that group.
How convenient that water has memory so they can find out what happened to their parents.
Olaf explained it. He's like, water has memory. It's passed through at least 4 animals before it even got to our bodies or made up of water. Water has to have memory. Mm-hmm. Olaf is a philosopher in this movie, guys.
He is. He's just a MacGuffin... Not a MacGuffin. Great. He's just used to explain anything.
He's great.
It's like he's like the Hermione of this movie for some reason.
Absolutely, that's exactly.
Oh, because like what? Why is this? Oh, because of this random thing that I just know. I was like, well, how do you know this?
Okay.
Regardless, at least Hermione is smart. And, she read it in a book. Olaf just knows it. Like it's not good writing.
Magical creature.
And that you really need... Okay, there's this YouTube video. Her name is Jenny. I forget her last name. But she does, like, script doctors. Mm-hmm. And, like, I was thinking a lot of things, and then I watched her video, and I was like, this is exactly it. And she puts it exactly why this is a bad movie. Mm-hmm. In terms of the script and why it doesn't make sense and how there's things that aren't explained.
But here's my thing. I don't care about any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. I never do. When I sit down to watch a movie, if I'm immersed in the world, if I like the acting, if I'm like enthralled in what's going on, then that's the sole basis of why I like a movie. It's Frozen. It's not an intellectual highbrow movie.
No, but at the same time, there are some Disney movies that are very well... The first Frozen was very well written.
I like this one better than the first one.
Love yourself.
I do. And this one to me was amazing. This was the Frozen, like the first Frozen was okay. I mean, I watched it. I mean, whatever. If you're asking me if I like Frozen more than I like Moana, the answer is no. I love Moana. Moana was wonderful. I loved it.
I like both. I don't know which I like better.
Moana to me was better than Frozen. But I also like it's just about like the experience of the movie. If I can get taken into the world and like buy it, I'm good. I didn't go to film school, so I'm not looking to like intellectually dissect a Disney movie. That's just not what, for me, it has never been about that.
Well, right, fair. Like, that's totally fair. And
here's
most
the best
Disney
example
people...
of that. Shape of Water won so many awards. People fucking loved that movie. I watched it and was like, what is this steaming pile of trash that I am fucking watching? What is this nonsense? I hate this shit. I'm tired of watching whether or not this woman and this fish-looking alien are gonna fuck. Just fuck. Let's end the movie. I'm done. I hated it. The world loved it. And I was by myself on an island going, trash. So, I mean, like, I get it. You can break it down and give me all the reasons why you didn't like it.
But also, the disconnect. Because for me to be immersed in a story...
But I didn't feel disconnected.
I understand. For me to be immersed in a story... things have to make sense. And when things don't make sense, I start thinking, well, why is this way, though? Who is this person? How is this going on? Like, there's a fucking gust of wind as a character who doesn't speak one thing, and Olaf calls it Gale, and that's that. It's Gale, and it's established character suddenly.
I'm sure. I get it.
Like, it didn't make sense. It didn't explain anything.
I understand where everyone is coming from. I can see everything that you're saying, and I get it. For me, I just don't agree.
Yeah.
I liked it. In fact, Danny had his IEP meeting on Monday.
Uh-huh.
And me and his math teacher went on and on and on about how much we loved it. And she loved Frozen, too. She was so into the first one.
I think the first one is leaps and bounds better than this one. There's the story is more succinct because they tried to do so much in this movie.
I like whimsical. Maybe that's what it is. Like I love a good whimsical movie.
They tried to do so much in this movie though. Like they had this whole sudden lore of explaining her powers and where they came from and why they are the way they are. But then they also had this whole thing between the natives and the white people. And then they had this other thing with just a bunch of Nordic mythology shoehorned in.
Yeah, they could have explained the Nordic mythology more.
And then suddenly there's this water horse that came out of nowhere and tried to kill her.
That's not the water horse.
That was the Kelpie.
Water. That's the water spirit.
Yes, but who explained it? It's a fucking horse. They never explained who the fucking horse was. It just showed up.
It's made of water.
It's a horse that showed up and attacked her.
But every time that she's had an interaction with the spirit, it's been kind of aggressive. Like the thing.
The wind was. Oh, the wind. She attacked the wind at the beginning.
Yeah.
But even then, like it didn't make sense.
Here, we're done talking about Frozen. Listen, have you seen it?
Wait, we didn't get to the ending.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is a synopsis.
I'm not doing this. I'm not talking about Frozen anymore.
So...
I'm not going to argue about a Disney movie.
So they keep going north. She puts Elsa or Anna and Olaf in a boat and pushes them away. And they somehow end up in a cave and they're strapped.
Because she had to fulfill her destiny and Anna wouldn't stop being a little bitch.
And so she goes up and she runs across... Oh, no, she tries to run across the water and the waves keep stopping her. And then this random water horse comes and attacks her. And she freezes the horse.
It's not a random water horse. It's the water spirit.
They don't explain that,
She has to cross the dark river to get to it.
No, this is an ocean to an island.
Yes, but she has to cross that dark ocean to get there.
Regardless, a random water horse comes and attacks her. She freezes it, and she doesn't freeze it. She puts a bridle around its face, and suddenly she can ride it. And it takes her to this island place. She goes into this big, like, cerebro globe, sees all these memories of her family, jumps down a hole, and freezes to death.
The horse thing made sense to me, but I think it only made sense to me because I've read a lot of mythology, and this is actually...
I know nothing about Norse mythology.
I had to take a class on it in high school as part of AP classes.
Oh.
And I genuinely like mythology.
I only know Greek.
No.
And Roman.
But this is a real myth for them, and it is about, like, taming the water spirit, and it does present itself as a horse. So maybe that's why it made sense to me, because I do know a little bit. But
it was just so many different things that I've never heard of. I'm not familiar with. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then she's in this giant globe.
I think it's because I know about it.
Like this Cerebro thing where it's just a big round room with like
beautiful
facets, and suddenly she's seeing just her memories. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then she sings a duet with her dead mom, and then she jumps down into this pit and freezes to death.
It's beautiful.
And I thought she wasn't affected by the fruit, like by ice.
In the song, though, it tells you in the song.
Does it?
Yeah, it says if you go too far down, you'll
drown, not freeze to death.
Right, but like drown is a metaphorical word.
I guess there's.
I liked it. It's okay. Like Mario didn't have to like it. It's not.
Well, I didn't hate it. It was pretty. There were some really enjoyable parts. I wouldn't
didn't hate it, but it's been 27 minutes and 2 seconds.
Well, I'm just trying to. It didn't make sense. There's so many things that did not make sense about this movie. Nothing was explained. They're just, we're going with it. Here's this thing.
I loved it. I can't wait.
Like literally, how they introduced the gust of wind after it attacks them. It's like, oh, this is Gale. I was like, okay, hi, Gale.
It doesn't bother me, but I get it.
And so she freezes to death, and like Anna and Olaf were still going, and I turned to Jessica. I was like, "How is Olaf still alive if Elsa's alive, or if Elsa just died?"
He died.
And then she's like, "Oh, I don't know." And then like literally 30 seconds later, he died. Yeah. And I was like, "Oh shit, they killed off Olaf." I would have been so happy if that scene where he was retelling it didn't have happened. It made me like him again.
Yeah.
I would have been so happy, but. He made me like him again, and so I was like, "Oh shit!" And I got a little misty. I didn't cry because she was like, I really felt for Anna because Anna knew Elsa was dead because Olaf just died.
So she had to process it through Olaf though,
and then she went and somehow Elsa was able to communicate with her that their grandfather killed the native guy leader. And so that's why this fight's been going on. And so it was a betrayal of them. So somehow that means destroy the dam, which they never explained that. She's like, we have to destroy the dam.
Absolutely, they explained
Well, they told them, there was like a snippet at the very beginning where they're like, oh, well, the dam is, you may
have been checked out at this point because you don't like it. What, baby? What? Mm-hmm. Where's Daddy?
He's sleeping.
Okay, we'll go get a snack.
Okay.
Let Daddy sleep and like figure out your life.
Okay.
Close the door. They explain what happened with that. They say
like the river is like feeling suppressed or something, and they just have it's like a very quick shot.
You missed it. No. He explained it like while she was in the big room. There was a whole like interaction between her grandfather telling like his first commander what they were going to do, why they weren't going to trust them, and that like they were going to block off the water because it would cause them to come down and need Arendelle. And then the guy was like, but sir, now it's not like it jumps forward a little bit in the memories, and he's like, this is not helping us and it's affecting the forest. Mm-hmm. And then that's how the battle like ensued.
Well, the battle ensued because he killed.
Right, but because he was like, we're taking weapons. They're like, why? They've been so nice. We don't need to take weapons. He's like, well, we can't trust anyone. And this is what we're going to do to get them under our power. And then it like backfired. Because he created the dam to cause the natives to come down and depend on Arendelle for resources instead of living their best life in the woods like the tree fairies that they are. All of that was it was a whole conversation that happened. It was completely explained. It was in the memories. Mm-hmm.
By that point, I think
I think Mario was just done though, because this was towards the end.
I was just like,
I got
going
more
on?
and more into it. I'd like could not.
Like I understood like he was not trustworthy and whatever, and he was like, but he betrayed them. But the fact that
they explained about the dam and the water and how it was affecting the magical forest and the native people.
Yes, but I don't understand how Elsa was able to communicate that to Anna.
She has magical powers.
She was dead.
Right before she died. Because it went from frozen from bottom to the top. She held her hand out and sent out one last freeze blast with a frozen memory. Because she was basically surrounded by frozen memories. She had her sister bridge connection, knew that it needed to... She said, Anna! It went to Anna.
I guess so.
Mario
that's how it works
checked
now.
The fuck
it just
out.
It's jumping the shark. It's just like, suddenly she could communicate like this?
Beautiful.
She'd never done this before in the entire movie, and suddenly she can do it.
But right when she gets to the...
How convenient.
No, Mario, right when she got to the place that was going to explain all of her powers and why she had them, she had that whole transformation where she obviously was now going to be herself and accept who she was. She realized the full potential of her powers. Mm-hmm. And she learned other things that she could do in that moment. She was feeling it. She was connected. She was the fifth element. So now, the whole world is open to her.
I guess so.
That's what that means.
It wasn't communicated well.
Okay. I don't know.
And
Have you guys seen it?
Regardless.
Did you like it?
She convinces these rock people who just happen to be introduced one time or not really convinces them. She just yells at one of them. She says, "Hey." And so they start throwing rocks at her. And so she runs and they're throwing rocks at her and she has to we have to get them to the bridge. And so they break down, or not the bridge, the dam. And so they break down the dam and somehow that brings Elsa back to life. And so
she undid what her ancestors did wrong.
But they didn't explain why Elsa was frozen to death.
Because she was too far in the depths of the magical world. Nobody can survive it.
But how does this free her?
Because they were bound by the tragedies of their ancestors.
But she still drowned in the river. So what does it matter if they undid it? She still drowned in the river. Okay. But how does this undo it? How?
She corrected the mistakes of her ancestors that were affecting the magical lands of her people. When she freed that mistake and lifted the ban on the forest, she was able to come back.
How, though?
It doesn't matter. She came back.
I want to know why.
But this is not Harry Potter, 7 books.
I need an explanation.
Well, then you've got to write your own Frozen fan
I may have
honey.
to.
Yeah.
Or we're just going to have to write Disney and be like, what the fuck?
You can write Disney. I'm not getting on his bad side or her bad side. I liked it. I'll co-write with you, be like, nah, I disagree with him. It was well conveyed. Like, every paragraph you write, I got that shit. Bitch, I understood what's happening in the theater. Bitch, I understand Disney. What's up?
Okay, Lizzo. So essentially, she somehow comes back to life.
I already explained somehow. Don't be sarcastic.
It doesn't make sense. She somehow comes back to life.
That's what happens. It doesn't matter that it doesn't make sense. That's the fuck happened, Mario. You were in the same theater as me. That's the shit that went down. Accept it.
There is a giant tidal wave.
I can't believe this shit. It's a cartoon.
From the broken dam coming...
That's what happens when you break a dam.
Understandable. Okay. Coming to Arendelle, and suddenly Elsa appears on the horse and stops it.
It's not the horse, it's the water spirit manifesting as a water horse. I'm so exhausted for trying to sleep. I don't give a fuck, I liked it.
And so she shows up, saves the day. Elsa's like, oh my god, you're not dead. And loses it, rightfully so. I would have too. Right. The redhead.
Worst movie reviewers ever.
She's like, oh my god, you're alive, thank god. And Elsa, oh my god, Kristoff's like, oh my god, Elsa, you're alive. He hugs her and he's like, okay, let me propose. So he proposes, because the whole movie he's been trying to fucking propose and he keeps fucking up. And it was like, okay, really,
he's in his head.
But at the same time, I feel like they could have done so much more with his character. He could have been.
That's the point.
More involved.
This is about sisters.
I get it.
It's not about the men.
No, I understand. Maybe it's not his place.
Live for Frozen and Moana. Live for it.
And so he proposes, and she's like, okay, I can't be queen anymore. You're going to be queen. Yeah. Because I have to be this. And we're a bridge, and I'm one side of the bridge, and you're the other side of the bridge, uniting the things. Yeah. And that's some porno right there.
I'm not arguing.
The London Bridge is a real thing. Look it up.
Oh, my God.
Or no. Is it London Bridge? Is it London Bridge? Or is it Eiffel Tower? No, that's Eiffel Tower. Never mind. Regardless.
Worst movie reviewers ever.
Regardless, Anna becomes queen and invites Elsa to come play, what is that game? Charades on Friday, the end. And Elsa's
that part is actually true, guys.
I'm not lying.
That's what happened.
They send Gale, the little Gale with the gust of wind is their messaging service.
Spirit. It's just the wind spirit.
It's their messaging system. And so they send paper airplanes to each other. And that's how they keep in touch. The end. Go see Frozen 2.
No, seriously. I really liked it.
It was pretty.
Mario was okay with it. The animation was stunning.
It was
the music
beautiful.
did not live up to...
the first one.
The only song I really loved was...
Into the Unknown?
No, not even that. The native song, Valure. value. I'm not Nordic. I don't know.
Is it the reprise of the song from the first movie?
Yes, that's an actual like native based song. And so when they find out that they have ties to the forest and that's also part of their ancestry and like the native people sing it like a cappella, I had goosebumps. That was my favorite one. And that's it. Everything else is kind of pretty. I mean, Idina Menzel is an amazing singer, but obviously the music is not as catchy as the first one. But I do want to rewatch it as many times as I can. It was beautiful and enthralling.
I'd watch it again if I didn't have to pay for it. So when it's on Disney Plus, I will give it another chance, and maybe I'll change my mind.
You pay for Disney Plus?
Huh?
You don't pay for Disney Plus?
I don't pay for Disney Plus.
Oh, you get it free.
I got it for free because I have Verizon.
I pay for it.
But
I cannot wait to watch it again. I loved it.
I'll give it another chance when I'm not paying for it.
Sure.
But it's just I would not pay. Like I saw Frozen twice in theaters because I loved it so much.
Bitch, we saw that on YouTube. I did not pay for Frozen.
Oh, girl.
I was never a Disney princess girl, though, so it was really hard for me to get on board for the new princesses. The only one I really, really liked was, oh god, what's the one in New Orleans?
Tiana. I love The Princess and the Frog. Oh my god, it's my favorite.
Aladdin was the first brown princess I saw, and I liked Aladdin, but but also because she was a badass princess.
You know, really quickly about diversity.
This is how we're going to wrap this shit
Lifetime has been doing a great job, because...
This bitch does not watch Lifetime.
My mom does.
Okay.
And so I by proxy watch through her sometimes, like, we'll be eating and she has it on.
This bitch does not watch Lifetime.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
No, this bitch.
So, Hallmark especially is notorious for this. They have only blonde, white, or brunette white women, blonde and brunette white women, as the stars of their movies for Christmas. I have seen so many women of color in these Lifetime movies. I am so impressed. Do it, Lifetime. Hallmark, take a fucking page out of their book, because your bland white women are so unrelatable and it's so unbelievable. Move on. But go
I don't
Lifetime.
know why y'all bitches still watching Lifetime and Hallmark.
Oh, girl,
Frozen 2 is in theaters.
They have the largest ratings of anything at Christmas time.
I hear it. I just can't believe it.
People love sappy Christmas romance.
I hate Christmas.
You hate
movies.
romance.
I hate Christmas movies.
And they're all romance movies.
Yeah, I hate them.
And on these networks. So
I hate them. Unless it's a period piece, and I'll watch the shit out of it.
I will say, my mom, I'm trying to convince her to watch Netflix more.
Yeah.
Because they got like an Alexa TV.
Uh-huh.
And so, so like I was like, it's really easy to just hit the button. She's
yeah.
like, I don't know what to watch. It's like there's a bunch of like Hallmark like movies, and there's one with Vanessa Ann Hudgens called The Princess Switch.
Yeah.
Where it's like
the Princess Switch or Witch?
Switch.
Oh, you almost had me with the Witch.
It's like it's like The Parent Trap, but with
I've
Princess.
seen it.
You've seen it?
I've seen The Parent Trap.
Yeah. I love The Parent Trap.
Me too, but I'm not going to watch Vanessa Hudgens do it.
Well, it's like
but I'll go watch her in Gigi on Broadway.
I don't know what the fuck Gigi is.
It's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We've talked about this. There are very few romantic comedies I actually enjoy. I'm not a romance movie person. I'm not a bromance book reader. I find romance to be fake and exhausting, and telling women that relationships should be a certain way when they never fucking will be. I've been married for like 35 years. I know what I'm talking about.
Same.
So I'm not into it.
But regardless, there were some really funny moments. I only watched like the first half of the movie, and like
I'm so happy for them.
Right when they switch.
Wait, what is it that you say? Oh, good for them.
How nice for them.
How nice for them. I just don't care.
Like I legit like busted out laughing.
Moana might be my favorite Disney movie because there's no like love interest. I love it. It's great. I was pissed off during Aquaman.
I know.
Oh my god, I was so mad about that. Like this is not the time for a snog session, motherfuckers. All of the oceans are trying to attack the world. Get your shit together.
This is your romance Hotel Transylvania 3 moment.
Oh my god.
You bring it up constantly, girl. She's never going to get over this.
So pissed.
DC, fuck you.
I was so mad. Oh my god, it was exhausting. Or whenever we take like a moment during a really intense scene to be like, I love you. No, fuck that. Say I love you later. Try to survive. It drives me insane. I loved it in Game of Thrones, though, where, what's her name? Arya lost her virginity and then went out the next day.
But even then, she's like, I just don't want to die a virgin. I'm not even going to marry you or end up with you. I just want your dick.
You. Yeah.
Exactly. I was here for that.
And then she went out and killed, because that's the reality of life.
So how did you feel about the Hermione Ron kiss? Did that bother you?
In Harry Potter?
Yes.
100%.
But like, when else could they? What if one of them died? There's no guarantee for tomorrow, and they had at least one time kiss.
I don't know.
I was fine with it.
You know which one didn't bother me was Neville. I love her. I have to go tell her. But we didn't, like, see the kiss or anything. About Luna Neville?
I don't remember that. That's
What?
not canon. They don't end up together. Luna marries Newt Scamander's
No,
grandson.
I hear you, but during the big battle scene, Neville's like, I have to go tell Luna I'm nuts about her. And then, like...
I don't remember that.
Okay. That one didn't bother me as much.
Because you didn't see it happen.
Right, yeah. Like, he still had the sword in his hand. So, like, he could fight bitches off while he's gonna go tell the girl he loves her. I guess we had to have the Ron and Hermione moment. I guess. It wasn't as infuriating as Aquaman, though.
But, like, they just really quickly, like,
Yeah,
kissed.
it
And even
wasn't
Harry
like a
was like,
full-
you guys, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's real life. Like, maybe you had, like, a passionate slip and you needed to get it out. I'm down with that. But
I
then
was
you have a
so
friend in the background that's
afraid.
like, hey, put the tongs back, wrap it up. But in Aquaman, they had a full stop, camera rotate around a full makeout session. Things are blowing up fucking. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want to see this. I want to see what happens to that evil squid in the corner. Is he gonna ink?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So infuriating. Like, if Daniel and I are fighting for our lives, are we really going to have, like, a...
But, like, you and Daniel are already in an established relationship. Ron and Hermione have been in love for, like, 3 books, and they've never said it to each other, and this is maybe the last moment because they most likely are going to die.
That's what it is.
And
it still seems inappropriate. That now is not the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the movie, actually, Harry does not interrupt it. He only interrupts it in the book. Because he's not there when that happens.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not into it.
I was just afraid they were going to get stabbed by those basilisk things.
Exactly.
I was like, you guys, drop him.
Stop it. Like, leave it alone.
You're going to push it into her and she's going to die.
I'm such a compartmentalizer that, like, if I have to fight for my fucking life and maybe I haven't told Daniel I loved him the last, like, I don't know, week. Sure. Babe, love you. Let's get through this together. Great.
And then he slaps your ass and calls it a day.
That's fucking real life, though.
All right. So this was supposed to be a 20-minute discussion. We have been going for 45.
I can't even with you.
So we'll be right back with Scientology.
It's the perfect.
Anyway, welcome back. Welcome back. We are now talking about Scientology. Mm-hmm. The very popular religion. Well, not popular.
No, it's popular.
No, they only have like 25. Last I heard, they only have 25 to 40,000 members.
Then you explain to me all those big ass buildings everywhere.
They have those everywhere as means of like, it's for financial reasons.
Oh, okay.
They're like shells. It's for them to move their money around and have it in places, invested in places, without it being flowing.
Oh, well, I don't know. My first view of it, I think I saw one in Maitland, Florida.
Florida's a very big place for them.
So I saw one in Maitland.
So that makes a lot of sense.
It was huge. It looked like a college campus, and there were people everywhere.
Yeah, but I mean,
and then the one in Sacramento downtown was massive. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is real. Like, you know, you think about Scientology, you don't ever...
Like, you're seeing thousands of people there. You're not seeing millions.
Sure.
And so, like, in 2014, I think their total number was about 40,000 members.
Okay. Let's do this really quick before we start. Scientology, people, officials, do not at us. All the information that we are going to talk about today is stuff that's already been made to the public. Mario and I are 2 friends having a conversation. This is not the first religion that we've talked about. We just find these topics fascinating. Mario and I are not religious, so religion in general is fascinating. And you're lucky we're even calling you a religion because you're basically a cult. So, do not at us. We are reporting things that have already been said. And also, I love my girl Elizabeth. The one from Handmaid's Tale.
Moss?
Love Elizabeth Moss. Love Elizabeth Moss.
Her fish came back for a second.
Cannot believe she's a Scientologist, but whatever. Love my girl.
I don't know what level she is, though.
I don't either.
Because level really matters in this.
Sheena's boyfriend is the one who told me that, and I was devastated. I could not breathe in the car.
Lauren Prepon is also a Scientologist.
Yeah, but, you know, she's a terrible actress. I don't really care.
Is she?
I don't
thought
really.
She was fine in Orange is the New Black.
I don't find her convincing in anything.
She's really pretty.
Is she?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
With the glasses? Well.
I never understood the obsession with Donna in that 70s show, other than her personality.
I never saw that 70s show.
I was like, yeah, I mean, your jugs are great. You have a good ass, and you're, like, funny, but...
I think it's the dark hair and the glasses that does it.
She was a redhead in that 70s show.
I know, but I'm talking about in Orange is the New
hair.
Black. A lot of people
find
her hot.
I feel like it makes her look older.
No, I mean, she is older.
No, but, like, it makes her face appear more harsh.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's whatever. Like,
The only thing I really know about that 70s show is, well, damn, Jackie, I can't control the weather meme.
I didn't even know that was a meme, but that is a classic line.
And it's like pictures. And
I
it's
love
like
that 70s
a
show.
picture of a well, a picture of a dam, a picture of Jackie Kennedy, then an eye, and then a can, and then the letter T.
Wow.
And then a remote control.
I probably have seen it. It was like, I don't understand this shit.
I didn't understand it. I had to read the comments, and I was
Oh.
like, what the fuck is this?
Mario's too much invested for me.
I go to know your meme all the time. I need to understand it. Yes, girl, it explains it.
This is why you're so up on, like, pop shit.
I
And
wanna
I'm,
know
like,
what's-
in the dark.
I'll see a meme and I was like, what the fuck does this mean? I need to know. I need to know.
I just go, Daniel, do you know what this means? And he goes, no. And I go, okay, moving on. Like, I don't care. It obviously has nothing to do with me.
I guess. I don't know, but it could be, and you just didn't know it.
It's social media. I just don't think that much.
So anyway, we're going to cover a brief history of Scientology, and then go about talking. Well, Jessica particularly wanted to focus on the aftermath of Scientology.
I do, because that's what I find fascinating about cults, is the people that get out and, like, have to deal with, like, their world.
Yeah. Now, some brief information. Now, this information about L. Ron Hubbard, by the way, his first name is Lafayette, which I think is an amazing name.
Lafayette Ron Hubbard?
Yeah.
Is it Lafayette Ronald Hubbard? Sounds like a serial killer name to me.
I don't know, girl. I'm not making these
Like
aspersions to his character.
The 3-name rule?
Well,
Ted Marie Bundy?
see, I used to think his name was Elrond, like from Lord of the Rings. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool.
Ted
Elrond
Bundy's
Hubbard.
middle name is actually not Marie, guys. That's my favorite murder joke.
It is.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Now, he was a Navy brat, and then he joined the Navy. But like other things say, he was the youngest Eagle Scout in America, and he met the president, and he walked 250,000 miles through Southeast Asia, and he was a ship captain and a pilot, and he was...
There's so much I want to say just to be a snarky bitch, but Mario's so scared of Scientologists that I can't. I have to hold it in.
Well, like... He was in the Navy, and he was actually a commander or whatever.
You know what they say about Eagle Scouts, though?
What?
Like, the whole Boy Scout thing, how it's just, like, a terrible organization.
Well, yeah. So he was, like, a commander in the Navy, and they were on, like, the coast of California, and he started having them for 36 hours attack this island, and it was a Mexican island. He thought they were, like, in, like, Japan or something. And he was attacking this island, or he thought the island was unmanned, but it was like an inhabited island, and that's what got him kicked out of the Navy. Was because they literally for 36 hours attacked this island that was inhabited by Mexican people.
This is the guy who started Scientology.
He was also a very prolific writer. He was a pulp fiction writer, and pulp fiction is like back in the Depression when they couldn't really afford to do books. They had that pulp paper, and they got paid like a penny a word to write. Mm-hmm. And so he wrote a ton of stories for them, science fiction stories, and a lot of the stuff in his stories were then used for the basis of Scientology. Some of the words and terms and concepts were brought in. Now, Scientology was founded in the 1950s, and the thing that really started it was his invention of Dianetics. Now, Dianetics was created because he couldn't afford a psychologist himself. And he believes there's two sides of your mind.
That's how Pilates got started.
Is that really? They couldn't afford yoga or something?
No.
I feel like they go together.
They do, but Pilates is actually based on breathing, and the guy who really invented the techniques of Pilates did it because of asthma, and so he was trying to improve his circulatory system.
Oh.
So that's how Pilates came about.
Asthma's going to come up later. Fascinating.
Oh, full circle. Let's go. I'm starving.
Are you?
I'm so hungry.
I'm hungry too. I want nachos now. You mentioned nachos. I was like, that sounds so fucking good.
We still have to go shopping, so.
Oh, girl. Oh, shit. I forgot I have to go shopping.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We
Oh, my
both
God.
did.
Oh, my God. Sorry. Scientology happened. The end. No.
Because that's all the time you deserve, bitches.
Oh, whoa.
No. Keep going.
So anyway, I lost my spot.
Sorry.
So he believes there are two sides of the mind, the analytic and the reactive. The analytic is like
I agree.
the functioning part of your brain.
Or
whereas
the somatic and non-somatic nervous system. Okay, whatever.
And then the reactive is like your neurotic side. And all the crazy bad things that you do is the reactive mind.
That's my hyperactive side.
And they want to get rid of the reactive mind. That's their goal. Now...
Isn't that everybody's?
I don't know.
No? Is that just a me thing? Okay.
I don't want to get rid of my reactive side. I feel like that's part of who I am. I love emotions.
I hate them.
But regardless, when people start Scientology, it's very self-centered. It's about you and improving yourself. And so I totally understand. I totally understand why people get into these things, because a lot of people want to be a better version of themselves. And a lot of these things come with the guise of this really intelligent person invented this thing or this process, and you should buy into it because look at us, look how much money we have, look how successful we are. And so people think,
agreed.
Well, I can do that too.
I can totally understand why so many people get brought into cults. Not just Scientology, just in general.
But with Scientology in particular, I understand why some people who have not made it higher up in the church are so supportive and defensive of it, because I'm sure it's legitimately helped some people, because big part of Dianetics, or a big part of Scientology in general, is auditing. And what auditing is you have like this machine called an e-meter, and it's essentially holding like two metal cans connected to like some like modified like truth detector or lie detector machine. And then they keep probing you. But the thing is, they probe you about things that didn't happen to you too.
Yeah.
And they try and make you believe that these things happen to you because they believe you're constantly reincarnated.
Yeah.
And the parts of you are...
That's the part that kills me. The lie detector test is not just on your current life, but it's on your past lives. So you...
For the last 75 million years.
Yeah, like you as a person could not know if you murdered someone 6 lives ago, but they convince you of it. It's insane to me that this works.
Like L. Ron Hubbard claims to have been like a prince twice before. Like a Phoenician prince and like a...
Oh, bitch, didn't you know? I was the Queen of England and Cleopatra 5 years ago. Or 5 lives ago.
Sure.
Did you not know? Me and Mark Anthony had it going on.
Work. But...
I'm sorry. I feel so sarcastic when I listen to cults. I don't know.
No.
It's that whole thing where I have to do like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I need to tell you right now, but also laugh because it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Religion is uncomfortable.
With this, a lot of people give up all their money to the church.
Oh, my God.
And then they'll join something called the Sea Org, and they get paid like $15 to $50 a week, depending on their rank. A week. But, I mean, the church does supply everything else. So, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like a nun. I don't really see much different than a nun or a priest, because you're not getting paid as being like a priest in the Catholic Church.
Absolutely.
You're not getting paid to being a nun. They supply everything for you.
I hear you. But the thing is like you kind of go into being a nun knowing that this is eventually what it's going to be. You're giving up all your worldly possessions.
Uh-huh.
When you decide to go into the Sea Org, you've already completed so much of like your induction into Scientology. And a lot of times from my research, they would take people and be like, you are this like enlightened being. You are this magical creature. You are the unicorn of all Scientologists. You must join the Sea Org because you have to better the world. And so it's not even like a decision they're making based on like, I want to do the best for my religion. Like you're battering them down by accusing them of like murder and tax evasion and stuff that happened 75 billion years ago. And then you tell them they're this magical unicorn that Elsa has to ride to defend her like purpose in life. And then you're like, okay, well, we're going to give you everything you need. Just take these $10 to $15 a week. That's entrapment.
I can see that.
That's entrapment, and that's part of but that's well thought out because that's what they do to keep you from leaving the organization as well. If you because you have nothing. Well, you don't have a job, you don't have a degree, you don't have any money, you don't have any possessions.
That's not the real reason. The thing is, a lot of people who are in this,
but they use it for that too.
They want to be here. They're not being held against their. More often than not, they're not being held against their.
I'm not saying that they are. Their religion, but I'm saying they are brainwashed into taking.
They're conditioned. Path. Absolutely, they're indoctrinated into this belief system.
A lot of times, when you leave the nunnery or whatever, a monkery, whatever. Monastery, like it's not a big deal to leave, even though you may not have any worldly possessions. They're like, stay safe and do God's mission.
But don't they also give you some money to
absolutely
get on your feet again?
Absolutely. There's no one's hunting you down if you choose to leave. If you're like, you know what, this is not it for me, they're like, great. If it's not for you, you got to go.
Yeah.
Because you're not supporting what we're doing. You should not be here. Go live your best life.
I could see that.
It's the total opposite from what they're trying to do. It's not the same as like deciding to be a nun or a monk. It's not.
I feel it's similar though, because if you're within the mindset and you believe it and you're devout, then this is like the next step for you.
Sure,
this is what you want.
But no one's pulling you aside and saying like you should be a nun because you're so amazing and no one else is as enlightened as you are.
Some people do.
They're not supposed to.
They encourage people like, oh, you want to be or like...
You have to genuinely express interest in it for someone to say, well, this is why I think it would be a good fit for you.
Oh, okay.
You can't just... I
know there's
You're
rules.
not walking by priests and they're like, hey, want to be a nun?
Are you sure?
Positive.
Well, not nuns, in terms of priests, because... Total side note.
I mean, unless you're talking about a corrupt priest, I can't speak to that.
Like, Julie Sweeney, who does the Letting Go to God thing, talks about how her father... he went to Catholic school and they separated certain boys out to start getting them ready to be priests. Like they chose them. It's like, okay, you're going to be a good fit. You're going to be a good fit. And so they separated them for the rest of their class and they started working on them to become priests. They didn't have to become priests.
There reaches a point where you have to make the decision to enter into that.
Absolutely. You have to make that decision, of course.
And if you choose not to do it,
but a lot of these people make this decision.
Sure.
But to join the Sea Org.
But then the difference is though, like you're being accepted into the Catholic realm because you're devoting your life to it. And if you choose to leave, it's not a big deal. These people strong arm you, lock you away from your spouse, and like have security guards sleeping outside your door and outside the gate and outside the compound. Like it's complete. There's no bullying, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if it does feel different.
I can see that. Like I'm not saying it's an exact thing. I'm just saying it's their equivalent. In terms of being so devout, you want to be a part of this organization.
I will accept that.
And so the reason the Sea Org was like founded, though, was because in the 60s he was wanted by the IRS because he literally owed $1 billion in taxes.
He being Hubbard.
In the 60s, he owed $1 billion in taxes. That is an insane amount of money. With inflation, that's like $30 billion.
Bruh, what were you doing?
Living his best life.
Apparently, like I want to hang out with you. That's crazy.
I don't know if I want to hang out with him, but
I mean, if he's spending $60 billion, like
steal your girl in a heartbeat.
Yeah, steal my girl. It's fine. It is okay.
Like he was like friends with somebody, and it was that guy that I mentioned what we were talking about that I didn't want to bring up on the podcast.
Yeah,
and like he ended up like stealing his wife and moving on, and they left with like his boat or something.
Wow.
And he was fine. The guy was fine with it. He's like, oh, well, her love was moved on to somebody else now.
And this is, okay.
I don't know. This man must have been so charismatic. I swear.
He got a cult started. Absolutely.
But anyway, he was being like pursued by the IRS. So he bought 3 boats, chose his most devout people and said, I want you to become a part of this. They were so excited to be chosen, like, oh my God. And when they got there, they had like really garbage, like low quality clothes.
I don't know why
and
they
were forced to scrub the boats like from top to bottom. And they were then in international waters until the 70s, like living on these boats. They would go to different ports and try and proselytize and convert people. But eventually they were not welcome at a lot of different Mediterranean ports because of their actions.
Oh, it's because those Greeks know what's up. They already went through their cult when they believed in Zeus, and then they had to figure out that was not real life. Like, we're not doing this bullshit.
And a couple of sources, I listened to like 8 different podcasts. We're going to link them all in the end.
Yeah.
But 8 different podcasts I listened to, and a couple of them brought up that they had this thing called ethics, which is like their punishment system. And essentially they'd get thrown overboard if they did something wrong.
God, do not do that.
But the thing is, nobody knows if they were allowed back on the boat afterwards or not. If this is just like a punishment, like, okay, you got to float out here for a couple hours and we'll watch you and then we'll pick you back up. I don't know. Or if it's like you're overboard and you're dead.
Either way, that's pretty fucking extreme.
Absolutely.
You could get eaten by a shark.
That's true. I don't disagree. I'm just saying this is what happened. I'm just reporting.
You know what? I get so nervous about cults because I feel like I would be all this self-help stuff that I do, like I could easily be tricked into being in a cult. Like I feel like I could be like, oh my God, this is the new way of yoga. And then I end up somewhere on a beet farm naked in Vermont, someone telling me, and then I'd be like, fuck, what do I do?
Tampons.
But I feel like that's what happens to a lot of people. who join cults. Like, they join because they need that fulfillment, and then one day they blink and they look around and like, this is not what I was told it was. I
don't know if I could ever join a cult. I think I could be probably like charmed by one, but I don't know if I could actually join one because I ask too many questions.
That's very true.
And I want to know why. No, I need an explanation because Frozen didn't explain who the fuck these elemental people were.
He blacked out and missed entire conversation.
I missed a conversation because I was like, what the fuck? She just died. And I was processing Elsa's death. Do you need help? Do you need help? She just almost fell off the bed laughing at me, y'all.
It's so stupid.
She died.
I know. I was there. I watched it.
I wasn't.
And I did not cry.
I didn't cry at all.
I knew she was going to come back.
I knew she was too, but...
Sorry. Okay.
Regardless.
Talk about your homie.
My homie?
Well, the world's homie.
Anyway.
The Cyan-tology.
I'm just going to move past this conversation. Or that
He's
comment.
Somebody's homie. I don't know.
Anyway, so they were out to sea until the 70s, and that's when he snuck back into Florida and lived his life in hiding until he died. But Charles Manson took some Scientology classes, and he was like, this is too crazy. I cannot join this.
Guys!
Charles fucking Manson
questioned this religion.
And so, like, that's just a testament.
Manson's, oh my God. His is it Squeaky from, like, one of his people?
Yep.
Squeaks, the Squeakster, tried to, like, gun down the president and failed and still thought that there was nothing wrong. Like, if his followers, I mean, guys,
they're just different kinds of crazy, I guess.
Guys. Oh, but I feel like if Charles Manson's like, this is fucked up, we all have to take a step back and maybe reevaluate what we're doing.
Right. But on January 24th, 1986... Hubbard died of a stroke. Now, they didn't announce this right away. They just, didn't know what to do. And finally, David Miscavige took over and said that he had reached a new level of clear that was so clear that he left his body behind.
So that's how I always wondered that. That's how he became the leader of Scientology?
Well, he was actually, a very devout person. He's been in Scientology since he was 11. Mm-hmm. And he was L. Ron's go-to guy. If I need somebody to beat the shit out of somebody,
so
Miscavige.
It makes sense that
Miscavige is on
step
it.
Up. Yeah.
Okay. I guess L. Ron Hubbard had a gay son who killed himself because he was really into Scientology, and they're very anti-gay people. And so he killed himself. So he didn't have somebody to go after him.
Any organizations that anti-gay, I'm gonna talk shit about.
Yeah, he left no line of succession, and so David Miscavige took over, and allegedly he cured his asthma through auditing. That's his big claim to fame.
So did the guy who created Pilates, but he never said he cured himself. He said he managed it.
There we go. But one story I did want to share is how they became tax exempt, because this is the most insane, amazing story I've ever heard. I was telling her, we were talking about this at work, and I feel like Ollivander when Harry gets the brother wand of Voldemort's wand, because he said, we can expect great things from you because what he who must not be named did was great. Terrible things, but great things. Because, you can't help but be oh my God, he managed that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
Hitler.
Who?
Hitler.
Oh, I thought you said Mueller. I was I've never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well, that would be Bueller. Bueller is the guy.
I meant Bueller.
Yeah.
I meant Bueller.
Yeah.
I've never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And everybody freaks out when I tell them that. But
it's a good movie. You probably won't like it.
Really?
I don't think you'll think it's amazing. I think everyone's hyped it up too much for you.
Maybe
it's a
so.
Cult
It's a Dirty Dancing thing.
Yeah, it's a cult classic.
So anyway, they were coming after him for taxes, and so in the mid 70s? I forgot when this was. Sorry, I didn't write down the date. Regardless, initially he sent a bunch of people. This is when he was still alive. He sent a bunch of people into government offices to infiltrate, and they just got a bunch of documents. Just walked in, took him, and left. And 10 people were prosecuted, including his wife, and they all got sent to prison. And he just left his wife, forgot about her, never spoke to her again. But then,
piece of shit.
When Miscavige took over in the 90s, he was still trying to get them tax exempt status. And so he sent thousands of people to infiltrate the IRS and Department of Justice to join as things and get dirt and information. And then they started following people and keeping tabs on everything they were doing. And then he had them all simultaneously file lawsuits against the government, like thousands of lawsuits. And they had enough money to cover this because they're freaking rich, because everybody gives them all their money, who's joined. And so they were suing the company, and they also had like people go to different conventions for work for the government agencies and record all the drinks that were bought, and said taxpayer money is being bought for all this alcohol. And so David Miscavige walked into the IRS building without a meeting, asked to speak to the guy. They said who he was, got a meeting, and walked out, and they were tax exempt because he said, we will make this all go away. All the lawsuits, all the claims, everything will go away.
Great
if you just
dirty
give us tax exempt status. They had it.
Why didn't they just
and that's how they became a church,
like a normal fucking person? Like, churches can apply for tax exempt status. I could start,
but the government
church.
wasn't identifying them as a church.
Yeah, and
based off of their
fucking,
business model.
But they're so manipulative that they could have just like altered the way they presented themselves, not actually changed anything.
Maybe.
Oh my god, whatever.
Regardless, that's how they got it, and I think that's a fucking insane, amazing story.
I be telling Mario all the time, there's so much corruption that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, I can't believe it. I'm like, yeah, believe it.
Now, I did have a little bit of history about auditing. Or not history, but explaining what it is. We kind of talked about it some, but essentially, like, they ask you things. But with your multiple lives and the thetans and the whatever the fuck they are. Is it thetans? Yes, thetans are, like, based off... Okay, let's do true history first. So their true history of Scientology is 75 million years ago, Xenu, the intergalactic overlord, had an overpopulation problem in their wing of the galaxy, I guess. And so he took billions of people and injected antifreeze into their heart to freeze them, but not kill them. And then he, on B-52, was it B-52? It's a very specific type of plane that looks just like the ones from the 1950s. Because everything was... back then, it was just like the 1950s. Everything looked like the 1950s.
It was Cuba.
Stop.
Sorry. I've retracted fully into my reindeer hoodie. Because this is the part of Scientology where usually I check out. Because I'm like, I can't. My brain can't handle it.
And so he took their bodies to Earth, which was called... they call it something different. He took it to Earth and planted them inside of a bunch of volcanoes. And then detonated all the volcanoes with H-bombs, or atom bombs. And all of their spirits flung and went everywhere all over the Earth. And so they attached themselves to things. And this is where people...
But wait, this was a science fiction, like, short story or novel that L. Ron Hubbard wrote. It was never meant to be the history of a religion.
It's the history of his religion that he created.
I just can't fucking
One of the biggest...
deal.
Like, a big thing everybody kept quoting in my research was, if you want to make a lot of money, start a religion. That's attributed to him as a quote of him. And so he's doing his thing. But the thing is... Okay,
Sorry. Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Do you remember the people that believed that Xenorth was going to come and, like, blow them up? And so they had an excuse to, like, one night a year.
Have that thing at the...
That's what I think about when I hear this.
Of course. But the thing is, okay, so regardless, let me keep going first, and then I'll say something else. But these spirits attach themselves to people, and these are all of their memories are tied to their spirit. And so this is what auditing is about, is helping you release those and escape from them. So you keep reliving or claiming you relive an experience that you never did 75 million years ago about how you killed your brother or did this or did that. And you keep going through it over and over. And they keep asking you the same question over and over again, coming up with reasons why to work through it.
Tom Cruise, you believe this?
Oh, he's really into it.
But I'm talking directly to Mr. T. Cruz himself.
He doesn't listen. He's not hearing this.
I don't care. I'm still talking to you.
They don't allow him to listen or see anything that's even remotely questioning of Scientology.
The Crudester.
Cruz?
Crudester. Level with me. You believe this? Like, this is genuinely the basis of your religion. Elizabeth Moss.
No, but the thing is, let me finish. Because, first, when somebody's born, thetans jump into their body and become their soul. So you have one that is your soul. And then all of this is not learned until you're at a certain level within the church. They have things called...
Tom Cruise is high up.
He's OT7, I think.
He's high enough to have reached
Yeah, so he knows
point.
this. Yes. But what I'm saying, I don't know if Elizabeth Moss is. I don't know if Laura Prepon is. I don't know if all these other people who are famous and part of it are in this, because you have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to this point. And it's a lot of work to get from OT 0 to OT 3. And that's when you're given this. It's like this big ceremony. You have to like handcuff like a briefcase to your arm, and they take you into a room and you read handwritten documents from L. Ron Hubbard that explains this. And you're not allowed to talk about it to anybody. But that's when you find out the quote unquote truth of our history.
So Mario, let's go through this. You and I decide that we need self-help, and we turn to Cyan-tology. And we spend all of our money, and we work up to this point. And knowing your personality and my personality, we hold hands and we skip off into this secret room to read the secret documents. And this is what it says on the paper. And you and I are like, bitch, what the fuck did we do?
But then also you can't get out because they have recordings of every bad thing you've said you ever done, even if it's not true.
You know what, though? I'm such a non-embarrassed ass bitch. I'd be like, yeah, I fucking did all that shit and more that I didn't tell you. I'll tell the world myself. And then I'll make up a whole stream of consciousness about what an evil bitch I am and then get out. Because, like, you know, I just... finish. I'm going back in the bubble.
Oh, so... But so a lot of people who first join Scientology aren't exposed to this. You have to be in Scientology for a long time and work hard to get to it.
So manipulative.
So that's another reason why I don't, like, I understand why some people are in it. Like, oh yeah, I like it and it's doing a lot of great things for me. Because it could be. Because although Dianetics is flawed inherently.
I'm not talking about those people. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about...
the higher ups.
I'm talking about Scientology as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, that's so manipulative. You get people to give you all this money. They're so invested. They get to this final ceremony, and then you throw some, like, made-up mythology at them. They're expected to believe it. But, like, 9 times out of 10, these people are probably like, I've spent all this money. I mean, I'm going to keep going. Like, I'm this invested.
Yeah.
That's
and also,
so
a lot of these people's families are in it, because if you leave your family, they say it's voluntary, but if they don't, they're also considered suppressive.
Absolutely.
So if you leave, you're automatically deemed a suppressive person. And so anybody who's still in church cannot talk to you, cannot have anything to do with you, cannot communicate with you.
Any religion. Because they're not the only religion that does this.
Yeah.
Like, they're not the only ones that do, like, shunning and, like, you shouldn't contact people who aren't in the church. Like, they're not the only ones who do it.
Yeah.
I mean, they take it pretty far, but they're not the only ones who do it, and I'm not down with that.
Yeah.
Like, we're all brothers and sisters, regardless of what you believe.
So, like, they have two different things. They have a PT and an SP. A PT is a potential trouble source, and an SP is a suppressed person. So a PT is somebody who could potentially cause issues for the church. So, like, Nicole Kidman, when she was married to Tom Cruise, was considered a PT.
Sure.
Because her father was a psychologist, and they fucking hate psychologists, because all psychologists, and they would not co-sign Dianetics or anything. They're like, no, this isn't how it is. This isn't correct.
Yeah.
He tried to get published in a bunch of, like, psychological, like, journals.
Like one of those serial killers that, like, against all advice, you know, what is it? Represented yourself in court.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no, brah, don't do it. Like, there's mad evidence against you. I'm like, no, I'm smarter than everybody here. That's what you sound like.
Exactly. But yeah, so they have potentially suppressive people and suppressive people. We would probably be considered suppressive people because we're sharing this information.
Scientology, please don't consider me. I'm so far away from your religion. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about me. Like, I'm not any religion, so don't even worry about me. PTSP.
Now that's just my brief synopsis based off my sources of Scientology, where it came from, what they believe, how they get there. Oh, I did listen to a podcast.
Okay.
It's the Pretty Odd Cast. And they actually went to a Scientologist recruitment place just to see what it was like. And it was fascinating. They made them watch so many movies. It was like a 12-hour process, they said. They had to watch like 4 different movies. And there's like one movie
could not handle that.
Where like L. Ron Hubbard's in it, but you only see the back of his head the entire movie. And it's him like going through doing whatever, and you only see the back of his head the entire time. But like you see the people around him, but you're seeing it like from his perspective.
Wait, so did they ever attack the people on this podcast?
I don't know.
Are they losing steam?
Who? Scientology?
Yeah.
I have no clue. All these podcasts, I still see they still have episodes. So maybe they haven't been attacked. I don't know.
Yeah.
They haven't been sent like a cease and desist.
But maybe they don't really put any value in podcasts too.
Maybe not.
Because they're more about like news cycles and stuff. Like they're quick to shut down a news network.
Like we have, I think in total we have like 427 listens of all time so far.
Oh God. Thanks,
so
guys.
we don't have a spread. We don't have a spread. So hopefully they don't see us as a threat. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a threat. I'm not going to go and try and stop Scientology. I just find it...
I just want to talk about it.
Like, wow.
It's fascinating.
Wow.
I'm honestly amazed that they're able to be so successful.
It's totally something to, like, study and learn from. Like, it's so cool, the whole process of how they do it. But, like, y'all are just a bunch of bullies.
But if you guys want to hear about what it's like to go through the recruitment process, just to see, because they start you off, okay, it's a 50, like at the end, they're like, okay, well, you need this $50 course. It's like a 3-hour course, and it'll help you be more self-actualized or self... Oh God, what is it? Where you take responsibility for yourself. Self-responsible. And so that's how they start you. And then things start getting more and more expensive as it goes on. Because it's a lot of money to be a Scientologist. Like thousands of dollars. Like you have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get from basic to clear.
I could never give anybody that much money. I'm trying to buy a house.
Yeah. But clear means being free of all thetans and engrams. And engrams are like those negative experiences that you and your previous life have had.
That makes you less of a person.
Yeah.
You need the negative experiences.
Because it helps you become who you are.
Right. It shapes you. You can't have just like a completely positive life. Things are going to be difficult. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, let's go on to Jessica's part of the research on the aftermath of Scientology.
So, I listened to a few episodes of Leah Remini's podcast. You can just find it. It's the only Leah Remini one out there. And I also watched her documentary on Hulu. It's called The Aftermath, where she actually teams up with David Renner, who used to be like the top dog that was a part of the...
Sea Org?
No, Sea Org, but also, what do we call it? When the fair game?
Oh.
Yeah. So he would go out and enforce all of that. And fair game basically is like, they will go and get you fired. They will stalk you. They will picket your neighborhood. They will picket your job to get you out. Like, they will do everything they can to make you look bad.
And they'll be deceptive about it. They say, oh, he's a religious suppressant. They won't say it's Scientology.
Yeah. They will just turn it against you. And so, if you know anything about Leah Remini, she's one of my bitches. I love her. But she's also best friends with J-Lo.
And Michelle Visage, who's RuPaul's best friend.
Absolutely. And so she has been openly... It's so crazy because I remember growing up and seeing her on news shows, and she talked about Scientology all the time. She was in it to win it, thrived, loved it. And then she ended up getting out, and then she spoke out about it every chance she could. Like, that's all you would hear her talk about, because she believes so strongly that it's so corrupt and that people should be saved from this because it is that bad of an organization. Mm-hmm. And so the thing that leading up to making her leave is that even though she was this devout, active Scientologist, like promoting it
since childhood,
and she truly believed it's what gave her her acting career. Like, she believed that the work she was putting in was making herself a better person, and this is the reward that she was getting. And her whole family was in it. She got her husband in it because he was not a Scientologist until they met.
And he's not anymore. No.
He
followed her out.
Well, they all did. Yeah, they all just
luckily
left.
That's not common.
No, it's not common. But she, at Tom Cruise's wedding, questioned where Shelley was. Shelley is Miscavige's wife. Mm-hmm. And she wasn't doing it to be like, yo, where's she at? What's the secret?
They're actually friends.
They're friends. And she's like, so where's Shelley? Like, where's... I'm looking for her at this wedding of the century. It's basically a Scientology wedding. It was a Scientology ceremony. And she actually convinced Jennifer and Mark to go. Because the higher-ups at the Scientology church were like, oh, we need more famous people to come. So she invited them. She, put her best friend on the line to go to this thing.
Yeah.
And because she asked where Shelley was, she went through all of the stuff that they do when they believe that you're going to be a suppressive. They questioned her. They fined her. They made her make public apologies. And
reprogramming.
All of it. And her family, not just her husband, her mom, her sister, all of them. And so she felt that for being the kind of follower that she was, this was not right. And then she began to see some of the cracks in what was going on. She chose to leave the church.
Yeah.
And so she did this big documentary about what it's like to leave the church afterwards. It is really beautiful because it's actually not Leah's story. It's other people who have left the church and have had their lives destroyed as a result of leaving the church, which I truly appreciated because I did think that when it came out, it was going to be about her.
Yeah.
It was not. Every episode is a different person and a different story. Families being torn apart, family who their kids are still in and they write them nasty letters all the time. It is devastating. Like, you are not an organization bettering anybody if you're pitting families against each other.
Yeah.
Like, you just want your followers to stay put. And, like, one day people are going to wake up and realize that's not okay. So maybe change your tactics a little bit. Like, I'm not saying you need to shut down. But, like, let's rethink the way we treat our followers.
Yeah, be less...
And Shelley Miscavige has not really been seen.
So, I was listening to an interview that she gave, and she spoke to, like, somebody who was a part of the LAPD and said the LAPD is so bought off by them because they donate so much money to them that they have not completed that investigation properly. They have not investigated it properly. And they have no proof that they talked to her.
Look at that. Look at that.
So I was like, holy shit.
Look at that. Okay, so I have some people that, celebrities, or kind of celebrities, who either began the process of becoming a Scientologist or actually in it and then ended up leaving because they were like, this is bullshit, I can't do this. The first one was Jerry Seinfeld, because I didn't know that. But he said he did it for self-help, and then he got, like, the first couple rounds of indoctrination and was like, not for me.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, but he only did it because of Juliette Lewis.
Oh.
And Juliette Lewis still identifies as a Christian and a Scientologist.
Oh, yeah, that's one thing. You can be both.
You can be both. I could be a Catholic and I could be a Buddhist and a Scientologist. You can be both.
I don't understand why he would date her, because she is so ugly.
He dated some weird people, like, before he settled down with Jen and then Angelina. Like, he always had, like...
not pretty at all.
Her face is weird.
So weird.
I mean, good actor, though, because I do like her. So William S. Burroughs, he's the beatnik generation of writers. He actually was in it for like 10 years and was like, nah, brah, I'm out. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Don Simpson, this was Simpson and Bruckheimer before Bruckheimer went off by himself. Like, he was part of the production company that started Bruckheimer Films. Mm-hmm. He left. Katie Holmes left. We all think we know what happened there, but there's not really that much confirmation because I think it's part of her divorce decree.
Was she ever in it, though?
Yes. She was in it.
Okay, because I heard, like, they had somebody following her around answering all the questions for her, and she just wasn't allowed to speak. No, she was in it. Okay.
She had to, like, secretly leave him.
I know she was hired by them and was under contract by them to be in a relationship, but I don't know if she was an outright Scientologist believing what they were. I think she just wanted to be married to Tom Cruise.
I think I think that's, yes. But she actually did, like, convert and was bringing up Surrey that way. And, they had a Scientology wedding. You can't have a Scientology wedding unless you're both Scientologists.
I don't know. If you have as much power as Tom Cruise does, they'll make anything happen.
She was in there, and I think she saw all the abuse that happened, and she had to secretly run away and divorce him and take Surrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, good for you, Katie. Like, I don't believe that. I can't believe how she was treated.
I know she signed, like, a thing for 5 years after their divorce.
And she's still not talking about it. She cannot speak about it. She's still not talking about it.
And she cannot be seen with another man. And that's why her and Jamie Foxx were behind everything.
She was getting that good dick.
They broke up, though.
That's fine. Jason Lee, that's the guy from the Chipmunks. My Name is Earl. But he got out. He was actually in it, got out.
Who was he in the Chipmunks?
He's the guy. The guy that always yells, Alvin. Like that guy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know his name. Dan, sure. Him. That's Jason Lee.
Oh.
Yeah. Christopher Reeve, which is the original Superman, the one that was a paraplegic after the accident. And he said that he went through, what's the process with the...
Auditing?
He went through auditing, and he gave, I guess they were questioning about past lives, and so he basically told them a Greek mythology story. I have no idea what story it is. I couldn't find anything about it. But Christopher Reeve said this in the thing that I watched. And
they bought it.
And he was like, this shit is not real. So, whatever. Lisa Marie Presley, she got out, but her mother and daughter are still in it.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Paul Sagas, he's the director for $1 Million Baby, and he actually made an HBO documentary about it back in the day.
That's a Going Clear documentary? Or?
I think so. And then, of course, Leah Remini, and then Mario had to tell me about Beck, because I didn't know about Beck.
Beck just recently announced that he's no longer a Scientologist.
And so this was the most interesting thing that I have found, is that Jenna Miscavige Hill, which is David Miscavige's niece, her and her husband were devout Scientologists. Obviously, you're a Miscavige. They flew to Australia to do press for Scientology, and then that's when they encountered all of, like, the questions and why people don't do it. She ended up leaving the church as a result of that.
Well, in Australia, it's also not a religion, it's a cult.
Yeah.
The government has deemed it a cult.
Right. And there's
Same with France.
But there's other world other countries in the world that are like actively trying to shut down Scientology. They are not about that life. They do not like it. But she went through like years of stalking, years of harassment, still does it. But from what I read, all of the Miscaviges, but David and Shelley have left.
Oh.
Yeah. I think maybe there's one son left, but she's the granddaughter of Ron Miscavige Sr., who left the church in 2012, the daughter of Elizabeth and Ron Miscavige Jr., who left in 2001. Let's see, who else? So Ron Sr. Miscavige wrote a book about it. He had, in 2016, Ruthless Scientology, My Son David Miscavige. He's basically just like outing the shit out of his son. Like, this is why he's the worst person. I don't like it. This is why Scientology is the way that it is. I got the feeling that the Miscaviges left because it was not the original way that Hubbard wanted Scientology to go. That Miscavige came in and applied like brute force to all of their teachings. Oh. And that's why it's so kind of like that's the feeling that I got. I don't know that that's true. I'm not saying that is true, but I'm just saying it's weird that you're the leader and all of your family has left. I find that very odd.
You sounded so New York.
I'm sorry.
And I love it.
I talked to my aunt earlier today. That's why. Let's see. And so I was reading about recent things going on with Scientology because Leah Remini was a couple years ago, and I found out that there was a lawsuit that was filed September of this year. And I'm just going to read. I got this from thecut.com, and I have the link. I'll link the whole article on our webpage. But I'm just going to read this little snippet. And I'm not going to say 1,000 times.
Or else.
Okay, so the woman, referred to as Jane Doe in the complaint, says that she was repeatedly sexually assaulted as a child while in Scientology's care. She alleges abuse began when she was in kindergarten at the organization's Clearwater Academy in Clearwater, Florida. The claim says that a Scientologist employee forced Jane Doe and other young girls to perform sexual acts on each other, masturbated in front, and then ejaculated on all the girls, including Doe.
Damn.
And on at least one occasion forced his penis into her mouth. After reporting that she was assaulted by the son of a high-ranking Scientologist official at 11 years old, Doe says church officials retaliated and she was forced to do 3 months of physical labor. She was then sent to cruise ship-based Sea Org, which the suit deemed as a human trafficking scheme.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. Former Scientologists have also described being held against their will on the ship, separated from their parents, and forced into indentured servitude at Sea Org. All of this is a result of the fair game policy that, per rules laid out by L. Ron Hubbard, the late founder of Scientology, it is high crime to report a Scientologist to law enforcement. In regards to assault, the suit notes that per Scientology practices, no one suffers sexual abuse, whether an adult or child is assumed to have something done to incite the invite on such abuse.
Wow.
So now we're getting into basic like human and female rights. So you're telling me that I'm just bopping around. A human female. That I'm bopping around at 11 years old in a class that my parents made me go to when I wanted to be home watching Teletubbies. And this man pulls out his dick and ejaculates onto me, and that's my fault.
Yikes.
Now we're getting into the territory where you're wrong.
Absolutely.
And you can come at me for that. Like, that's basic human decency. Like, don't ejaculate on an 11-year-old girl. Just don't do it. Like, I don't care who you are.
Well, like,
we get at the Catholic Church all the time for this.
Yeah.
So you're fair game too. I mean, I'm just saying.
So have you heard about that thing that I think it's Tom Cruise and John Travolta are at this level where we didn't mention John Travolta is in
He's
this.
not out. I only talked about the people,
who left. Gotcha.
John Travolta is a Scientologist, guys.
I thought we were going to talk about people who are in it too.
No, I don't want to talk about people who are in it.
But they have this rank where they can kill somebody and not get in trouble for it.
Oh my god, I did not know that. Oh my god.
Leah Remini talks about it. So like if they kill somebody, the church will cover it up for them.
I have not gotten to that part in her, because I only made it to like episode 5. I have not gotten to that if she talks about it on the show. And
I don't know if I didn't watch it on the show. I watched it in an interview.
That is the worst. There is no religion in the world that makes you exempt from killing somebody, from taking another person's life. What's up? What is up? That's not okay.
It's rough.
Oh my god, I can't. I feel weird. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like that's all my stuff.
So
just out.
If you have any stories, if you were a Scientologist or if you left the church, and want to talk about it, or if you have any perspectives that you want to add, feel free to email us.
Maybe you're a part of the church and you're lower ranking. I mean, I doubt it because you're not really allowed to listen to anything, but on the off chance that you are,
give us your perspective. I'm fascinated to hear it.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot deny that it is utterly fascinating. It's just some of the practices that I have issues with.
Like, honestly, I don't see it I don't agree with some of their practices.
I don't agree with most religious practices.
Exactly, but I was going to say, like, I'm not really here for religion in general.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't see it as, like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, they believe it's so weird. But, like, also Christians believe that somebody came back to life after 3 days.
Or you believe that a girl didn't get fucked and then, had a baby.
Yeah. Like she obviously lied.
IVF was not in existence and she was getting dick behind the barn. Like, there's just no way.
Exactly.
And also, Egyptians have a story similar to Jesus Christ as well. And that happened, like, way before Jesus Christ happened. So I just, like, religion in general is a difficult concept for both of us to grasp, is what we're saying. And then you throw aliens and other lives into it, and I'm way out. Like,
I don't think it's any weirder, though, is what I'm saying, in terms of what they believe.
I guess not.
I think because you're so used to Catholicism, or to Christianity, and what Christian...
Totally
there's some crazy-ass shit in the Bible. There's some
totally... Jonah and the Whale.
Yeah.
That's so, yeah.
Or just Revelations in its entirety.
Revelations is weird, too, yeah. No, he's absolutely right.
So, like, you're just used to it because you heard it for so long.
Yeah.
It's same with, like, when people are, like, critical of Mormonism, like, they're just newer.
Jehovah's Witnesses are also strange to me, too.
Yeah.
Like,
but, I mean, they're just a newer religion, so... I mean, it's weird to us because we're not exposed to it for thousands of years like we have with Christianity.
We find religion to be odd.
Yes.
The origin stories and the practices. Like, it's just not our thing.
But I'm not going to, like, go out and be, like, completely antagonistic against them.
Oh, no, because if you need it, you need it.
If it's helped you legitimately.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't agree with, like I said, their practices and how they treat people. The
bullying has got to stop. And don't ever tell an 11-year-old it was her fault she got, like, sexually abused. That's not okay. I don't care what religion you are.
Right.
That's just not decent.
Right, but all in all, thanks for joining us for this. We're going to go on to our Ray of Lights in just a moment and then wrap this up. What if she sued us one day?
Oh, don't sue me. I'm sorry. I really do like the song.
I love Madonna.
Oh, sorry, Madonna. I'm just not down with the
We were supposed to talk about that.
We can talk about it another day. We can talk about it next week. Let's read a little bit more and talk about it.
I mean, what else is there to read? It's over. The performance is done.
I genuinely don't want to give her any more airtime. Like,
we don't have to talk about it then.
So over her.
I feel like the read read her right, and we're good.
Absolutely. Oh, we were going to talk about Taylor Swift, but we highly recommend you just pop on over to the read and listen to them drag Taylor Swift, because it's actually really funny and very factual. And I don't feel like there's anything I could say that would top what they're going to say. So go subscribe to the read and listen to them drag Taylor Swift, because it is on point and hilarious.
And my all-time favorite podcast, and I'm so glad Jessica is listening to. That's one of my rave lights for the week.
In it.
I've been trying to get Jessica to listen to this podcast forever, and she finally listened, and now she loves them. I love them.
can never look back.
I'm so glad.
So good. I love it. I download like 2 episodes a day. They're my morning, and then Harry Potter in the evening. They're great.
So I'll start off Rave Lights, since you have a lot more than I do.
Okay.
So we've been wanting to do Harry Potter for a while, because it's something I'm very passionate about, and something that she's passionate about, and becoming even more passionate about now that she's re-listening.
Yeah, as an adult.
Or now that she's listening to the books, rather, not re-listening, because it's your first time.
Well, I'm like reading the books again, but I'm auditorily reading them.
And it's a different experience.
It is different.
And I love it.
Also, I'll talk about that, because that's on my Rave Lights too.
But we've been wanting to do this for a while, and one of the things holding us back is one of my very best friends, Arvilla.
Hi, Arvilla.
When we released our first episode and talking about how we want to have people on and talk about things they're passionate about, she's like, you have to have me on for the Harry Potter episode.
Yes.
So I've talked with her.
That was like the second time we recorded more. I was like, Arvilla's down for Harry Potter. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's do it.
Absolutely. She's here for it. But like, Arvilla is like crazy Harry Potter like I am. So like,
I'm so intimidated. So intimidated. But I'm boning up. That's why I'm rewatching, rereading, re-listening. Like, I'm going to be prepared.
But like, she's brought up a bunch of different things that we can talk about that I didn't even think about. Like about the fandom in general, about headcanon that's people are embracing more that I'm not really here for. Okay. Like in terms of like, oh, Hermione could be black, and because they never said her race, and then Harry might be half Indian, and I'm like, guys, you're reaching.
Yeah.
But we want to have a whole episode. Like, should She and I have talked about this.
Yeah.
So she's agreed to be our correspondent as long as we need her.
And I love that we're calling her a correspondent. Like, it's going to be the official Harry Potter correspondent or Villa. That's going to be... I'm so excited.
She can put it on her resume.
Absolutely.
It'll be amazing.
It's wonderful.
And she wants to, like she said, she's down to do book by book. She's down to talk about movies. She's down to talk about the fandom, everything. Anytime we want her, we have her.
I love it.
So I love it. I love it. I love it. My friends being so supportive of me too. Like,
I'm here for it.
She's one of my very best friends. I can't wait to tell the story of how we met in college.
I told him not to tell me until we do it because like I want to have my real reaction.
Yeah, because she'll have to be on the line with us because it's when I told the story at her wedding, and everybody laughed. So it was a good story. But she's agreed on that. But she's brought up a lot of good things that I wouldn't have thought about talking about outside of just the books and the stories, because there are a lot of things that the fandom has taken. There's a big divide between like the actual fans and like the corporate side of it and what they're trying to do differently. So I don't know, it's just very cool aspects of the Harry Potter community that people don't really think about. I'm
excited, and I can't wait to talk about it with you to figure out what we're going to do.
And so my second ray of light, well, actually third, because the first one was
what
you.
What does that say?
So my mom.
What is this?
My mom.
What is this?
She watches Hallmark and Lifetime movies during Christmas out the wazoo, and we're talking about how like lately they've gotten even prettier actresses, because usually they have like pretty actresses, but they're not like drop dead gorgeous because they need to be relatable.
Yeah,
and lately,
and also they don't want to pay money.
Well, yes, but also I feel like middle American women are not going to relate to this stunning, beautiful woman as they would like Lacey Chavray or whatever the fuck her name is from Gretchen from Mean Girls. She's in like 50 of the movies. Yeah. I swear to God. Every time she's on, I said, oh, what is she doing in this one? Mom, without skipping beat, oh, she's a baker in this one. And she's doing this and that and blah, 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 blah. Like, because she knows.
I mean, that's how Tori Spelling made her money.
This thing is making bank. I can't knock her hustle.
No,
They have Candace Cameron Bure. They have Josie Sweden now.
I can't stand her.
I can't stand her either. She's super anti-gay.
Oh my God. Her and her brother.
Yeah. Her brother was such a babe, too. It's such a shame.
No, he
I thought I had such a crush.
He was an evil person.
I had such a crush on him and Leonardo DiCaprio on Growing Pains.
Oh, into Leonardo.
Oh,
yes,
my God.
Pains.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, yes. Okay.
I love Growing Pains.
Go ahead, sorry.
Anyway, so she was watching one Lifetime movie, and we were talking about how pretty they've been. She's like, actually, I was watching one the other day, and it had David Hasselhoff in it. And I thought that was weird. It's David Hasselhoff. But I was like, I watched it anyway. And the love interest in that was the ugliest woman I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, Mom. She's like, no, you don't understand. Like, her eye was sideways and blah, 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 blah. And I'm
Mom!
like, who is this woman? And my mom's usually never this critical about people. So I'm thinking, she must be hideous. And so I look it up. And it's Caroline Rhea, who played Aunt Hilda in the original Sabrina the Teenage Witch TV show, but like she has not aged well.
No, I've seen pictures of her.
She looks like she's had a stroke.
Oh,
and so I was just like, Mom.
Poor baby.
But I was not expecting it. My mom never goes in like that on people. So I was just like,
I've seen pictures of her recently.
I was just like, whoa. I guess like she's like, this is what she looked like, and I guess we can should we post a picture? I don't know if we should.
I don't want to. Oh. I don't even have my glasses on, and I saw that. Oh, pobrecita.
Damn, Africa, what happened, But, like, it just caught me off guard, and just to see my mom be bitchy every now and again just brightens my day.
Yeah, I know, because you're like that all the time.
Shh. I don't claim that. Now let's move on to your rays of light.
Okay. I listened to Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast. I actually really like it. I think it's really good. And
that's Kristen Bell's husband, right?
Yes. But he did an episode with his personal hero, which was Richard Dawkins. And Richard Dawkins flew from, like, England to come and do this podcast with him because Dax Shepard is, like, he really is into science. Like, he's science-based. He's an atheist. Like, he studied it in college.
I didn't know that. Is Kristen Bell on board, too?
I didn't know it either because I learned this in the podcast. Like, I don't know that much about Dax Shepard. Other than, like, I loved him in Parenthood. I thought he was fantastic. I've
never seen him in anything. All I see is...
he is stunning in Parenthood. He is the most... He plays his character so well. He does not get enough credit for the actor that he is.
I always confuse him and the guy from Scrubs.
I know who you're talking about.
Zach Braff?
I think so.
They look so similar.
Anyway, Richard Dawkins, who everyone knows, I adore.
I don't think everybody knows this.
Oh, okay.
I know this.
I feel like we've talked about it on the podcast. I said I would sit on his face.
You did. You did.
I have a huge thing for intellectual men, and he is the epitome of that for me. Like, he is modern day, like, he is just the new father of science and evolution, and I have, like, a not Richard Dawkins.
Yeah.
It's not Richard Dawkins. No, it's not Richard Dawkins. Is that his name? Stop. Charles Darwin. I was questioning myself. I have the tattoo of one of his cladograms on my shoulder. Like, I'm huge into evolutionary biology. And listening to Richard Dawkins on this podcast talk to Dax Shepard made my whole day. I was, like, beaming inside and out with his voice. I told Mario, I was like, I cannot contain myself. I don't know why I chose to listen to this at work. Like, I am turned on. I am horny. I am here for it.
Oh, she was.
I was, like, oh, my God. And then he talked about how he respected the gay community because they did what they could to carve their way in this world, and that they're modeling a lot of their tactics for atheists in this world, because an atheist couldn't be president, an atheist couldn't be the leader of a major organization, because we are so religious based, and he hates that because good people can be atheists too. Mm-hmm. He started a foundation to help.
Atheists can be good people too.
Atheists can be good people too. And he started a whole foundation to reteach evolution to teachers because they cannot deal with the Bible Belt responding the way that they do in class, because you can't say evolution is a big thing without someone throwing a Bible at a teacher, which is true. This has happened at the school I used to work at. So I just like he's so immersed in the world, and it's amazing. And then he called teaching your children about religion young is essentially brainwashing. And Mario knows that is how I live my life. And to have it validated by Richard Dawkins, I almost cried at my desk because it was amazing. And I felt like we had a connection, and I might one day sit on his face. So I'm really, really happy. That was one of my Raelites. And I would.
How
Richard Dawkins? I don't know. I don't care. I don't even know if he has real teeth.
Can he handle
this is not
somebody
about
sitting
him.
on his face?
This is not about him. This is about me.
This
is about.
Could you imagine he dies from getting
Richard
his
Dawkins
face sat on?
brought down by my vagina? That is something to live about. He would appreciate it. It's very beautiful.
It's evolution.
Exactly. He couldn't handle it. The Selfish Gene is a really good book. That's one of like the first ones he's really known for.
He's 78.
He could get it. My mother-in-law loves Christmas so much. And I sent this video to Mario, and I'm going to check and see if she's okay if I post it. But she bought a pillow that has the Virgin Mary holding
the baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus. But get this, guys. Jesus is wrapped in a Puerto Rican flag. And I saw it, and I was like, Ma, what is this? She was like, you've never seen it before? This is all over the place in Puerto Rico. And I'm like, I believe you, but Jesus Christ is not Puerto Rican. And she's like, whatever, it's a beautiful metaphor. And I was like, what?
Of what?
She walked away from me. So I have a video of it, and it's so funny, and I will post it if she lets me. But that was my ray of light, too, because it's just full on Christmas right now at my mother-in-law's house, and it's beautiful.
Oh, my God.
And then also, we all know, most of you should know, I'm half white, half Puerto Rican, and I struggle with that because I don't feel white enough to be white, and I don't feel Puerto Rican enough to be Puerto Rican, and I feel like I don't look Hispanic, but then people see me and they're like, oh, you're obviously Puerto Rican, and I'm like, Where do you see that? I see a white girl. Anyway, it's like white guilt, and I get it because like I recently found out about my ancestors, and I feel really, really terrible about it. Anyway.
As you should.
As I should. Absolutely, as I should. A woman saw me. She, to me, looked clearly Hispanic, not like my whitewashed jeans. And she was like, in Spanish, and I'm not going to speak in Spanish on here because you're not going to understand. What's the point? But she was like, hey, do you speak Spanish? And I responded. So I was like, yeah, I speak Spanish. And she was like, are you Puerto Rican? But she called me Boricua, which is like the slang for Puerto Rican. And I was like, yeah, my mom is. And then my dad is white. And she was like, oh my God, I never would have guessed that. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, I feel like I don't look Puerto Rican. And she said, your Puerto Rican pride shines from the inside out and everybody can see it. And I almost teared up at work. And
she did.
I was like, oh my God, no one has ever said that to me before. It's so reaffirming because I just want to feel, it's not that I don't like my white side, but I was raised by my Hispanic side. So I identify more with that. And then I feel like I don't represent that physically.
Yeah.
So
I knew you were Latina the second I met you.
A lot of people say that to me, but I also have had people like talk shit about me in Spanish, thinking that I don't speak Spanish. And then that's a fun little moment too. So it has its ups and its downs. It's a personal thing that I need to work on.
I want to hear this story.
It's only happened like twice. It's happened
Do
to the mall.
do you say something?
Yeah, absolutely. But I can be confrontational.
Confrontational?
I can be confrontational when I need to be.
So, like, what do they say when you
They
tell
were
them?
talking shit about, like, I think my mom was moving too slow through the line or something. And then they were saying something. And then I turned around and I was like, we understand everything that you're saying. Leave her alone. She just had surgery. It was something along those lines.
What'd they say? Did they apologize?
No. Whenever that happens, those people, like, walk away really quickly. But I did date a guy once. He was walking down one of the streets here, talking in Spanish to his friends, and some white guys rode by and was like, "This America, speak English." This was like in 2006 or whatever. And he was like, "Fuck you." And the guys came back and like beat the shit out of all of them. It was really bad. So
that is awful.
Yeah. So sometimes it's not okay to speak Spanish in public. It shouldn't be that way, but look out. And then my last thing is Mario has obviously been expressing how badly he wants to do Harry Potter episodes with our villa. We've been working out the technical side of that because she's not here. So we've been working on it more.
She lives in D.C.
And I have been so nervous about being pitted against two Harry Potter like scholars that I've been re-listening to the books, watching the movies. As an adult, as a kid, I listened to them because they were an escape from a household that thought they were part of the devil, and obviously I knew that they weren't part of the devil and that Christianity was all a farce. So it was like my little rebellious moment, and I reveled in that. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm appreciating even the bigger scope of what it means to be obsessed with the world that is Harry Potter. I'm taking back the Harry Potter.
I'm glad.
So I'm deep in this shit right now.
I'm so excited for
deep
you.
In it.
I wish I could reread the books for the first time one more time.
Balls. Sorry.
Thank you for that musical interlude.
You're very welcome. I gave him a little leg kick too. Little jazz hands. So I'm excited because I'm going to do the Fantastic Beasts and I'm also going to go to the Cursed Child.
Please don't be intimidated.
I am. But I won't be once I finish with all of it. Bitch, I'm coming for both of you. I'm just kidding. Our Villa High. Know. It's so nice to meet you.
You will never know the amount of Harry Potter that I know. No, don't even put yourself on my level.
Don't judge me.
No, just don't be intimidated. Like, honestly, we're not going to be judgmental about it or anything. Like,
no, I'm here to learn. If there's
like, I'm the one.
Out,
I'm the crazy one of my group. I'm the one who's like, if you have a trivia question, come to me. Like,
didn't you win HP?
I did win Harry Potter trivia.
He won the trivia here. There was like a whole trivia thing in our town.
It was
and
on
Mario
Harry Potter's
went
birthday.
Random night, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'll play." And then he walked out of there as the winner. Who's not to be intimidated?
But
oh my god, my hips hurt.
Are they lying? Sorry, that's Colombian, not Puerto Rican.
And Arabic.
She's Arabic?
Yeah, she's like part Arabic and Colombian.
I never knew that.
Yeah, she speaks Arabic. That's why she's a good belly dancer. She took classes.
I just thought she knew how to move her hips.
Her hips don't lie. She's Arabic. Just like nobody knows that BB Rex is Albanian.
I don't even know who BB Rexa is.
Oh, she's my bitch. I love her.
I know. The only thing I know about her is that she was like super entitled when she met the drag queens from Drag Race and like made a whole stink about it and they dragged her.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about her. I never heard a song of her.
I like her music.
I don't know her.
I don't know her.
I don't.
All right, Mariah.
That's who I was quoting.
I love Mariah Carey.
But
you got to stop performing.
Stop or start?
No, she needs to stop.
What do you mean?
Mariah Carey?
Oh.
She's got to stop performing.
I heard a rumor that Beyonce is going to be doing a residency in Vegas. Yeah.
I wonder how much those tickets are.
An insane amount.
Because
I'm sure it's going to be $300 minimum.
That's why I don't go to her concerts. Like,
it's so expensive
to pay that much money. Like, you, no doubt, Queen, are talented, but, you know, my kids also have to eat, so.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to Vegas to sit in the nosebleed.
That's true.
J-Lo had great price tickets.
Well, it's J-Lo.
I'm gonna shut the fuck up. She knows she might. She put the box and she put. Get out of my house. Don't you dare.
I love J-Lo for what she is, but
yeah,
she'll never be Beyonce.
Sure.
Like, in terms of, like, fame. Like, she's good.
I don't think she's the artist that Beyonce is.
I don't think so either. Because I don't think she's an amazing singer. I think she's a good singer, but she's not an incredible vocalist. She's just a dancer.
But there's a lot of people in the world that are like that, too. Like Taylor
Madonna.
Swift. Sure, and Taylor Swift doesn't have an incredible range. She kind of sings, like, within the same 8 notes, and she's just really good at storytelling. But her voice is not phenomenal, which is maybe why I don't really listen to Taylor Swift. You know, I like a powerhouse vocalist, and I like J-Lo not for her music, but for the whole package.
Yeah, and she's also a very good Latina representation.
Absolutely. That bitch can get it, too.
And she's not fucking aging.
Nope.
It's not fair.
She's part of the Illuminati.
She drank that potion from Death Becomes Her.
Absolutely.
I love that movie.
I wish I could drink it.
I was thinking, do you think I could ever do, like, a movie commentary?
Like, live?
No, like, we record a commentary while we watch a movie and say, okay, play it.
Yeah, like, we watch it and then we talk about it?
We watch it and record while we're watching it.
Yeah.
And then post it for people to, like, they go to watch the movie and they can hit play.
It would have to be something I've already seen. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. That's what it is. It's always something you've seen.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
I'm down.
I thought of maybe a Harry Potter one or, like, a cult classic. Like, have you seen Death Becomes Her?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll do a cult classic. I don't want to do Harry Potter. I want Harry Potter to stay in the realm that we've talked about. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have to get off this bed.
Okay. So that's it for this week. If you have any questions, comments, want to write...
If you're a Scientologist, let us know. I'm very fascinated.
I am too, honestly. I also would like you to like, rate, and review, and comment on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Share us with your friends if you don't mind. If you think they'd like our podcast, tell us what you think. Ask for advice, whatever. We're down for anything.
We give good advice.
Usually.
We just can't follow it.
That's the thing. I give amazing advice. I can't take my own advice.
Yeah.
I can never take I know, like, I'll tell myself, like, you need to do this. This is what you tell anybody else.
And then you don't do it.
And then you get mad at them for not doing it, and then I don't fucking do it.
Yeah, that's the nature of being human, though. All right, guys, thanks for listening to the longest podcast in America.
This was a really long episode.
Yeah, but it's going to be fucking hilarious.
I hope.
I can't with the self-doubt anymore. We're hilarious. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.